been us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let them know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show them who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome back. Iggy, I haven't spoken to you all day, Iggy. What's going on? How are you?
Mate, what a day, man. What a day. Like, it was so hard to focus at work. I ain't gonna lie. It was like you're working and you got your ears to the radio. Then I'm hearing you guys. I had you guys on my ears as well during the stream this morning. I'm just trying to absorb as much information as possible. Is he going? Is he staying? It's been accepted. He's unlikely to stay. He's likely to stay and go on the free next season. Nobody, with all the ITKs, nobody actually knows for certain what exactly is going to happen. How are you taking it all in, man? Often you're doing these streams and I know you've always said he's going. I know that. Let's just like exclude that fact that you've always said that. But you can't. You almost become numb. I know since we've been doing this, it's almost like the fan in us is put to the side. I want to know the fan in you, how you're feeling about this, not what still YouTube is thinking of it. How you as a fan?
The fan in me gave up a long time ago. No,
I
for
knew he was
real.
going to say that, man. I've been
Yeah,
doing
but
this long enough with you.
you're asking me how I feel as a fan. I've
That's
never
fair.
enjoyed I've never enjoyed Tottenham as much as Pochettino, the era. And then when we got rid of Paul Mitchell, I thought, why would you do that? Okay, but we went along with it. We got to a Champions League final. All right, we lost. The man had credit in the bank. He wanted to rebuild it. 4 years later, we're doing what he said 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, when we sacked him, I told everyone, this is a massive mistake. This is a big, big mistake. Because we're lucky we even had Poch. Let's be honest. We wanted, I think it was Louis van Gaal. We couldn't get him. So we ended up with Poch. So we're lucky we had Poch. And then the last 4 years, Iggy, I've backed Mourinho because he's a winner. I backed Conte because he's a winner. I was weary about Nuno. I knew that was a bad idea. But because I coach, because I've always coached, I've always learned you need patience, you need time, and back the manager. And the more and more years that went by, Brian, I'll bring you in just a minute. The more and more years that went by, I could see we're never going to back a manager. It was obvious to me, if you're not going to back Jose, you didn't back Poch, now you're not going to back Conte. And Conte just blew it all up.
Yeah, blue gas.
Now we've got Anjin. I want it to work out. I want it to be successful. I always want it to be successful. But what's happened as a fan over the last 4 years, especially now, I can't stand our fan base, Iggy. I don't like Spurs fans. Not all, but there's a section, a big section of this fan base that I don't know what they want anymore. They want good football, not trophies, but they want both. Well, you can't have both unless you buy quality players. You can't just develop quality. There comes a point where you get close, you need to go and buy those superstars. You need to go and invest and do what Arsenal are doing. Declan Rice, Timber, Raya. When do we ever do that? We never do it. So as a fan, Iggy, I'm fed up. I can't stand this ownership because I know they will never do what's best for Tottenham Hotspur football team. They'll do what's best for Tottenham Hotspur, the business. And our fans are the most gullible group of people to say we will do better without Kane. I've never known a football to get rid of their best player and to get better. Build with Kane. Build around Kane. Don't get rid of Kane and say, oh, we've got to move on. Why should we have to move on? Why? We've been moving on for 24, 23 years. So for me as a fan, Iggy, I knew this was going to happen. And even if he stays now, there's rumours he might stay, right? Let's say he stays. He's gone at the end of the year. Whether it's now or in 10 months' time, Kane is gone. So what's the point?
Do you know? There's in a few of the fans' mind, if he stays, there's maybe a glimmer of hope that if he buys into this Ange Postecoglou way of playing, that he could sign. Listen, I'm not believing it. I think. Listen, do you know what? Lately, the last sort of half an hour leading up to this start of the stream, I started to think to myself, is it possible now that the two clubs have both agreed a price that Kane's going to go, do you know what? Nah, I'm going to stay and I'm going to decide my future.
Right. Good point. Except one thing. Kane, it's not about Harry Kane buying into Ange Postecoglou because he bought into Poch, he bought into Conte, he bought into...
it's the board, it's Levy, I get it.
Will he buy into Daniel Levy? And that's where it's going to come down. Let me bring Brian in. I mean, look, as a fan, Iggy, how do you feel as a fan? And by the way, Strasbourg Steve, thank you for the super chat. I've already sent you the link. 4:30, I'll bring other people in. I just want to do us three for the first half an hour, and then I'll bring others in.
Right, Brian? The thing is, big up, Brian. The thing is, I heard the only part of the stream, the big part of the chunk of the stream that I heard this morning was Ryan absolutely going into like this.
Ryan went.
I saw it, and do you know what? To see it, how it affects it. Now, listen, without causing offence to the present panel, we're a bit longer on the tooth. We've got white in us, you know, in the hair or in the beard. So we're a bit long in the tooth for that.
This began with Teddy Sheringham for us. Teddy Sheringham was the beginning of this with us.
We've kind of like we it's not an acceptance, but we just know how this board works. There's nothing that they can do to us or to the club that isn't going to shock us for the better. It's always going to shock. It's not even going to be shock us for the worse. We just knew that this day was going to happen. But seeing his face, seeing the way he was going at it, seeing it from a fan that goes to all the home and away games abroad, in this country, up and down, man, he lives and breathes Tottenham. That's not to say that we don't, but do you know what? It's different when you go to all the home and away games like he does. He really lives for that club, and to see him like that,
Ryan is a die-hard fan. He's a die-hard fan.
To see him like that this morning, and to hear him, like I said, I was driving, I was seeing, then I stopped because I wanted to actually watch him for a few minutes. It hurt, man. It hurt to see him. And I just imagine there's a lot more fans out there like that. So for the fans that you're talking about, the ones that annoy you still, there's also a lot of the fans like the Ryans that would feel like that right now. And it's to them like I feel for the most, because it's like we've got the memories. We're a little bit older. We have got glorious moments for Spurs. There might be not as many, but we've lived them at least for a while. Someone at Ryan's age or even younger probably have very small little memories, maybe one trophy, and to waste this 10 years of Kane at this club, or however long he's been.
Ryan hasn't lived the Sol Campbell period, the Michael Carrick period, the Teddy Sheringham period. He got, I don't know if Bale Modric. I don't know if he got the Bale and Modric era. He probably got the Ericsson. He got the Ericsson one. He got the Carl Walker.
Yeah, the Pochettino. That's like I was saying. My son only remembers Pochettino. He didn't remember Sherwood, who was just before him. It just gives you the age that he's at. And he's now, now he's like, he's got a Kane signed shirt upstairs, and now it's like
Harry Kane's a big deal to young fans. It's a massive deal. And
let's be honest. I would love to get his take on it because I haven't asked him. I would love to get his take on it later on if I get
him on.
I'll ask because he's lived and breathed Kane.
Don't forget as well, not just for the younger fans, but for us older fans, Kane has been the best player we've had.
Mate, he is a legend.
He stayed with us for so long, in 20, 30 years maybe. I don't know. I mean, Brian's got a good history memory. I don't know any player that's been this good that stayed with us for more than 3 years.
Mate,
he's been in what, 7, 8?
Jimmy Greaves' record, man.
No, I'm talking about whilst we're alive.
You're looking at Glenn Hoddle, aren't you? In all honesty, if you want to go back to the English, one of our own.
But he won trophies, Brian, right? But he won trophies, so
lots
maybe
of
that's
them.
what kept him.
Because we had a chairman that brought people like Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa, that brought in players of a class and a stature. You missed out in that list of names. The first main one where it's happened like this was Dimitar Berbatov.
Yeah,
Dimitar Berbatov was strike one with this. Where if you look at it, when he sold Robbie Keane to Liverpool in the same window, sold Dimitar Berbatov at the very last minute of the transfer window, and in return for those two, we got Fraser Campbell, Gareth Bale. We all know what happened with that money. This is just, I mean, I've had a really rough night. I didn't get to sleep till 7:30 this morning, and I've woken up about 45 minutes ago when Ryan came round to see if I was still alive. So all of this is fresh to me. I mean, still, you and I have been saying all window this is going to happen, haven't we? That he's going to cave in at the last minute. The very fact that this is happening and be allowed to happen 3 days before our season kicks off. 3 days.
Look, for me, Kane's gone. Like, I mean, Brian, let me ask you: do you think, because Iggy mentioned it as well? Do you think? Does anyone here think Harry Kane could turn around right now and say, "I'm going to stay, and I'm not signing a new contract"? And if he does that, what's the optics on that? Who will fans then turn on Kane, or will fans then say this is ridiculous? Like, what would be the reaction of fans if that happens as well? Because even I would be like, this is weird now. That's just weird.
You know what it is still, Nicky? I'm at the point now where if Harry Kane does that, it don't look good on us. Yeah, it looks like revenge for Manchester City, doesn't it? Well, you let me go then, so guess what? I'm going to walk for free. I'm going to dictate this.
Yeah.
The only time I will blame Harry Kane for anything in this saga is if he goes to Arsenal or Chelsea. That's it. Go anywhere else, walk out for free, do what you, mate. When you look at this, you say he's our record goal scorer in our history, not just in the modern era, in our history. Has done everything that has been asked from him on the football pitch, season after season after season. And he has to deal with what we've had to deal with. This is Harry Kane's life. We all love him. We all love him as a player. Like you said, for people, this is like he is like the player. Like we hear our our grandparents talk about Jimmy Greaves, Bobby Smith, Mackay, all these guys. Our kids will be talking about Harry Kane. He is the icon. He is the number one guy. This whole ordeal has been dealt with horrifically by both sides. And I mean Bayern and Tottenham. But obviously, you know, we're going to direct our frustration because this isn't the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. If Harry Kane decides to say, I'm not joining Bayern Munich, I'm staying at Spurs, but I'm not signing a contract, yeah, I'll be disappointed he's not pledged his future. But you know what, Harry? You have earned the right. You'll be 31 by the time your career, your contract ends. You do you. You've had to deal with this shit that we can't just drop.
But Brian, will you say that in 10 months' time if
yes.
Harry Kane walks on a free to Man United, Chelsea,
yes,
Man City, Liverpool? He just
Chelsea and Arsenal. Chelsea and Arsenal. That's the two. You go there, then everything I've just said is null and void. You go to United, what? Like Robin Van Persie did. I want to win trophies. Where are you going to go to win trophies? Oh, Alex Ferguson's managed United. What did he do in his first year? Wins the Premiership. You can't blame a player for wanting to win trophies. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for. The very fact that we've been in this situation.
Well, actually, some fans say they're there to play attractive football.
Yeah, well, we know what we think about that. We know what we think about that. The game is about glory. The game is about winning trophies. And this is another Daniel Levy masterclass, isn't it? It really is.
Iggy. I want to ask Iggy the same question. By the way, if you're watching, we've got 460 people. Thank you so much. Please like the show. Really appreciate it. If you like it, helps us grow the channel. And go over to Tottenham on Tour, Brian Daigle's channel. Make sure you like and subscribe over there as well. No doubt. Iggy.
So let me
stay now.
Hold up. There's a guy called Christian Falk from CF Bayern saying Harry Kane's hesitation completes the madness of this deal. There is said to be a disagreement between Kane and Tottenham about the transfer. Bayern are puzzled, and someone else responded. Poseidon ITK said Spurs are pissed because they're worried he's going to try and leave on a free instead. He never expected us to accept this bid. So the plot just thickens here now, man. It's just now it's Spurs and Kane. They've got the issue.
Right. No. I'll tell you what's happening. I'll tell you what's happening. Okay, this is Levy working the PR. Okay, like I said all along, there is no way Kane leaves on a free. Never in a million years is the club going to allow that to happen. However,
and he's like, I'm not leaving now because you left it so bloody late.
Okay, now Kane. Well, technically, Harry Kane said he wants it done before Brentford. We're not at Brentford, so he's there's still time. Okay, the only two things we know, like factual, are that Kane said, "I want it done before Brentford. If it's not done before Brentford, I'm staying without a new contract." And the other thing we know that's fact is that Bayern Munich said, if Harry Kane sticks to what he promised, he'll be joining us. Right? So they've done their bit. Bayern have done their bit. So whatever conversations happened with Harry Kane, they've done their bit. That's why they're puzzled, Iggy, because in their heads, they said it a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I remember them saying, if Harry Kane sticks to his word, then he'll be joining us. Meaning, as long as we meet our side of the bargain, which is we will pay the money. They've now paid the amount that Levy's agreed to. So Bayern Munich have stuck to their word they've got with Kane. But Daniel Levy and the club and the journalists today, when this deal was done, when this bid was accepted, what did the club say? What was the announcement on Sky Sports and all the PR machines? Bid accepted by Tottenham for Harry Kane. And then just after that, over to you, Harry. Everyone is over to you, Harry. As in, let's dump it on Harry now. Let's put it all on Harry because
They're trying to
we've
make him
agreed to
look
sell
like a
you.
bad guy. Yeah.
They're trying to make him look bad. So Kane is now going back to the club. This is just my opinion, by the way. Kane's now going back to the club and saying, what are you playing at? That's not what we agreed. Something hasn't been agreed between them two. And I think it's the way it's been played out because now now imagine Harry Kane now. He has to publicly come out and say, I'm off.
Yeah.
He's going to look like an absolute, not a traitor, not a Judas, but he's going to look like, I don't care about Tottenham. And he doesn't want that image. He doesn't want that look with the Spurs fans. Because like you said, was it Brian? He's come for our academy. He's one of our own. There's something in his soul that will always be Tottenham. You can take the player out of Tottenham. You can't take the Tottenham out of the player. He's Tottenham. Same as Glenn Hoddle. He can manage all these other clubs. He's always Tottenham. Kane's the same. So I hope him and Levy have a public spat now. I think that would be fantastic if them two have a massive fallout.
I just want to say one thing. It'll be very quick. Then I know you were asking Nicky, but I just have to say, anyone that is calling Harry Kane a traitor, please think about what you're saying with that word. Sol Campbell is a traitor. Walking out on a free. Now, with Sol Campbell, he said he'd sign a 2-year deal at Tottenham when he was about to. But the deal was he wanted 80 grand a week, which back then was like unheard of. And he also said that I want to be able to walk for free if we don't make Champions League in the first season. Spurs were never going to make the Champions League. Spurs were never going to pay 80 grand. What's he do? One of our own academy walked across the road, which you don't do on a free. You just don't do for a fee, let alone on a free. Harry Kane has given us his entire career.
Will said in one of the messages just now, I just had a look at it now. He said if he does stay, he has to sign a new contract. Because if he stays and doesn't sign a new contract,
he's not going to.
If he stays and doesn't sign a new contract and leaves at the end of the season, he will consider him just as bad as Sol Campbell.
If Harry Kane signs a new contract, all you're going to hear is he's got no ambition. He's not elite. He doesn't like trophies.
I think he's going to lose
to trophies.
Whether he leaves, stays, or doesn't sign, or signs, he's going to come away with it no better. It won't. There is no good outcome in this for Kane. For Spurs to get paid, yes. Bayern Munich to get their man, yes. But what good outcome is there for Kane in regards to his relationship with Spurs?
So I just want to address something. Swanks, when I say Kane is not going to leave on a free, what I'm saying there is the board, the owners, Enoch, Levy, will not let that happen. They've done their bit. They've accepted the money. I said this was going to happen. Now, you're right in saying if he chooses to stay, yes. But the board, that bit's out of their control. The bit they can control, they're controlling. They've accepted the money. And also to Franchatti, who's saying, how can you blame Levy for this? They've had Harry Kane for 8 years, 9 years. They've had one of the best players in the Premier League ever. And they've got the best striker in world football. And they never, ever, ever, ever showed ambition in building a squad, not a starting 11, a squad around him. They've never done that. That's why I blame Levy. And if you can't understand that, then you're just a Levy sympathizer. And this is why we're in this mess. And I know you're going to get upset for me saying it, but it's the truth. How can do any of you two not blame Levy for this? Is there any way, like, take your Levy out hat off? Is there any way, come on, Levy, it's not Levy's fault for this bit. We can't blame Levy now.
So I'm just going to say 2 lines that came out of Levy, 2 instances where, first of all, we all know the biggest lie, that every penny goes back into the club. But if you go back and check the records, these are Daniel Levy's own words, not mine. When Sol Campbell did leave on a free, yes, that was down to Sugar, because Sugar had him and it was when Levy bought the club and then he left that summer. Daniel Levy's own words, I will never, ever let the star of this club walk out on a free. Tottenham Hotspur will never be in that position again. We'll fast forward 23 years, and we are at the biggest star we've had in his entire reign, in his entire ownership, in his entire stewardship of Tottenham. All the revenue that's come in, all the stadium has generated, all the buildings that have gone up, all the players that have come and go. The fact that Mauricio Pochettino is the only manager to have signed a second contract at Tottenham. Think about that. We've had 17 of them, or 16. Mauricio Pochettino is the only manager that has been given a contract extension. And here we go. Sorry for using those Romano words. We're about to lose our best player in recent history. Some people will have the argument our best player of all time. And he's going to walk out the door for a free if Bayern and him don't get this deal agreed. And if he doesn't sign a contract, and people want to blame Kane. The man's own words. I won't let someone walk out the door for free.
Do you know what? I've just thought of something, Brian. If Harry Kane walks out on a free, that's even less chance we invest in the squad, because that's £100 million worth of transfer money.
Yep.
Do you believe we're going to invest though? On it, even if we get that, even if we bag that 100 mil, do you think
we
we're
would
going to
invest some of it, Iggy? Some of it, yes.
We probably already spent it on Van der Ven and Madison and the other boys that come through the door and Vicario.
Well, if we've already spent it,
spent 100
if
mil.
we've already spent it, well, that's even worse then, because if we've already spent it and we're not going to get the money to cover it that we thought we were, we're definitely not investing any more money, because we spent money that we're not going to get back that we thought we were. So that's even worse.
Marcus, I hear you, man. Marcus, what's changed, man? I'll tell you what's changed, not just in the last 2 years.
Well, he wanted to leave 2 years ago.
He signed the 6-year deal. Was it 5 or 6 year deal? Remind me, guys. The last time around. And in that time, Pochettino, he's had Conte, he's had Mourinho. He was given it, Mourinho.
Nuno, Stellini, Ryan Mason, Pochettino, Tim Sherwood.
Another 6-7 years. Another since that happened, another 5 years, 4 or 5 years have passed him by, and we're not closer to winning anything now than what we did in that Champions League final 2019. He's no longer, and 4 years have passed him by where he could have been somewhere else. Probably been more in a competitive team. When I mean competitive team that's actually playing for honours. And what in that time have we shown him that we are ready to win? What exactly? We've changed however many managers. I've lost count of the amount of managers that we changed since Pochettino. He's signed a new contract. Then he got stung against Man City. Then now another 2 years apart. Then the Conte it was gonna go, and then Conte managed to somehow convince him to stay. Conte's now come and gone. Now he's got to start again with Ange Postecoglou, who has shown great things in that small amount of time of the possibility, the great potential that he has as a manager and the way he likes to play. But Kane wants to win. He said it all along. I want to win trophies, and he's like, Ange Postecoglou might do it in 2 or 3 years' time, 4 years' time. Hopefully he will. But Kane is like, I'll be 34, 35. I need to leave now. And to really finish it off, who's to blame all of this? To me, it's the board. Donna Cullen, Levy, a lot of them have got to blame, because this has passed him by. Levy has come, in Kane's career, it's passed him by. Son's career is passing him by. And Lloris's career is passing him by. And they haven't won nothing, man. That's why he's how can I blame Kane for that? Put yourself in Kane's shoes and say, when is it going to happen for me here at this club? In a club that I know I love. We know he loves Tottenham. We know that. We know that he loves Tottenham. But when is it going to happen for me as a player? When you put yourself in that scenario, none of us blame him for leave. I'll be the first one at Hotspur Way when he walks out. I'll applaud him, because I can't do more than that. Can I do the same for the board? The owners, everybody that's been running at this Tottenham Hotspur club, what they've been showing us for the last 5-6 years, ambition on the pitch has been null and void. And when you say about direction and where we're going, we are plodding along as a club. We are making it up as we're going along. That's what I see. And I don't care what anyone says to me. What I see is a club that's plodding along, who's only there as a massive cash cow, nothing else on the pitch. And that's it. I hope that answers your question,
agree.
Marcus.
No, 100% agree. I don't agree with this though. For me, look, temple bans, you're allowed your opinion. That's why I put it on the screen. I think it's utter
Everyone's allowed
madness
opinions,
what
Paul.
you're saying. I'm going to break it down bit by bit. We've kept our best players: Sheringham, Berbatov, Kyle Walker, Ericsson, Carrick, Bale, Modric. We didn't keep them, our best players. So already you have misled. Then you say we've spent money in the transfer windows. We've wasted money. Jed Spence, Jack Clark, Davinson Sanchez, Joe Rodon. I could give you a massive list. We built £1 billion stadium. There's no trophy room. And we've appointed world-class managers that we've sacked a year later. We've never stood by one. We sacked Mourinho before a cup final. Who cares if we appointed him if we've sacked him before a cup final? And then you end by saying there has been ambition. Like, what plan? You know, at the start of the show, Iggy, when you said to me, how do you feel as a fan, Stelios? And I said, I can't stand sections of our fan base. This is what I'm talking about. I respect your opinion. I've put it up there. I don't ban you from this channel. Everyone's views are allowed. I can't stand how you think as a fan, though. I can't. I'm being honest. It drives me crazy because this is the problem. For me, this is the problem. Not you as a person in life. I'm sure you're a great person. But as a fan,
No,
this is
your
the problem.
your Spurs opinion. This is
Your
all Spurs
your
opinion.
opinion on Spurs is the problem. And Brian, take over, man. Someone take
Yeah,
over.
no.
40 million, by the way, guys. 40 million on sacking our managers. 40 million.
I'm going to lose the plot.
I
I'm going to do Ryan. I'm going to do Ryan Isaacs.
I want to talk about the ambition who's been shown part. I'm going to give you 3 examples. First one I'm going to give is when we had Harry Redknapp and we had a team filled with Modric, Bale, Van der Vaart, Ledley King, Moussa Dembele. You could go on with the list. We were right there on the cusp of something. What did we do? We sold Modric. We sold Bale. We didn't buy players to say, stay with us. We're right here. We're going for it. We got there because the players got us there. And every time we get to, that was into 4th, but that's the sweet spot. That's good. That's good. You got 4th. We don't need to worry. We're making money. Instead of building, ambition isn't getting 4th. Ambition is winning trophies. Ambition is competing at the top regularly and not stripping your team for parts. We can also talk about Pochettino, crest of a wave, on the verge of glory. Let's go 500 days without signing anyone. Is that ambition? But oh no, we've got to move to Wembley. That's ambition, isn't it? We've got to move to Wembley. Got to a Champions League final. Had the manager who said repeatedly, I need help here. What have I done in my time that I've been at Tottenham? First year I sorted this crap out. Then I got us in Champions League. Then I got us 2nd. Then I got us 3rd. Then I got us 4th. I got us to a Champions League final on a budget. Help me rebuild this team. I've shown you what I can do. What do? Gets the sack. So Jose Mourinho can come in. You hire Jose Mourinho. And when you hire Jose Mourinho, Daniel Levy's vanity project, you've had 20 years in very, very, very close contact and knowing what he does. He turns up at a football club. He spends hundreds of millions. He wins everything in sight. He turns toxic. He pisses off. What did you do? You brought him in. We're never going to give him hundreds of millions. He got to a final. You sacked him. Is that ambition? Is that ambition? You then hire Antonio Conte after going 73 days without that. That's ambition. Not having a manager for 73 days. People turning you down left, right and centre. And then when you do bring him in, after you've said, I'm going to play attacking football and bring the Tottenham style back, you hire Nuno Espirito Santos. We hounded him out because you know what the Spurs fan base did. It turned, and then all of a sudden, oh look, Conte's here. So you bring another win now manager, but you're not going to spend to win now. Oh no, because we're going to develop, we're going to do a project. You bring Antonio Conte in, that shows ambition. Not backing him, not giving him the tools needed, does not show ambition. You've just gone, oh look, I'll pay big money because it'll get me out of a jam because I've got a lot of shit coming my way. And then you sack him. because
Brian,
he spoke out about the club. There is no ambition at this club apart from to make sodding money.
Brian, when we finished second place in the league, and when we got to the Champions League final, the seasons after those two big events for us, like coming second and actually challenging for a Premier League was a big thing for us. And then getting to a Champions League final was like humongous. In both those moments just after, what did we go and do in the transfer market? Look at Arsenal, who came second. Look what they're doing. That's ambition. What we did is not. They've gone and spent 100 million on a centre midfielder, 40 million on a defender, 65 million pounds on a makeshift striker winger. I don't know if he's going to be good or not. And now they've gone and bought the goalie that we refused to pay the money for as a backup. That's a team that's saying we've come second, but we're not happy. We want number one. We're going for number one. We get to Champions League final. We signed the Celso, Ndombele, and Ryan
Jack
Sisson.
Clark.
You're like,
And Jack
Clark.
Clark.
You're thinking, hold on a minute. We finished second in the league. I don't understand how anyone thinks that Spurs show ambition. We show moments, but not planned ambition.
But we've built a massive stadium. We hired out world-class managers. What more can Levy do?
Iggy, let me just add to that as well. What Stel was saying. This is Arsenal spending money and flexing their muscles without Champions League football for 6 years.
Correct.
Yes.
Without any European income. Without European income for 2 years as well.
Do you know something else? I was thinking about this earlier as well. 4 years ago, exactly 4 years ago, AFTV, I'll say their names, like Lee Judges and all them boys, they were looking at Tottenham and what they had going on in envy. They were looking at us and thinking, my God, they're an exciting side.
They said, we're going in the right direction, they said.
We're going in the right direction, and they were in the mud. I mean, I hate using that word, but they really were in the mud. Fast forward 4 years, they've got a young manager, a young team, going in places. And what's been the difference between that Pochettino
spending big money on players the
this
manager wants, though. Spending, and they stick by the manager. He had 2 awful seasons, Arteta. They stuck by him. We would have hit the panic button and sacked the manager. We would have sacked the manager by now if that happened.
Mate, we've done two.
Andrew Postecoglou finishes 8th 2 years in a row. He's gone. They're not going to keep him. They'll sack him.
2 transfer markets, man. Like, we didn't buy anyone. We didn't buy Poch anybody. So when you guys, when those people in the comments, like say Spurs they've shown ambition, they've gotten the managers. By the way, those 2 sackings of Mourinho and Conte, someone like to remind me how much it's cost Spurs in compensation. 40 odd million, right? I said it earlier on. That money could have gone to get Tapsoba from Germany. Would have brought him back. So now, who's going to convince me that we're going to get 100 million from Bayern Munich and we're going to go and reinvest it on our players, on new players? Dane Scarlett. What's the new kid that's come? Veliz. They've joined the club in the hope to be understudies to the world's best striker. They've signed and he's fucking off. So I was like, who am I to? I've come here to work with the best striker in world football. Scarlett's going to be looking at, I've just come back from Portsmouth. Veliz has come from Argentina thinking, Kane, I get to see him, work with him. He's going. So,
also, I just want to talk what Simon said here, where he's right to a point, but there's a few things to take into consideration here. When Arsenal moved to their new stadium, Arsene Wenger came out and said, right, Arsenal fans, listen, we're going to go through a real tough time. We're going to need to sell our stars to get us out of there. And then when we're out of there, we obviously that didn't materialise. But Arsene Wenger came out and told the fans, this is where it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. Daniel Levy told us that when the stadium was being built, the way the stadiums have been done, the stadium money is here, the transfer money is here. They are 2 separate entities and they will not cross over or cause any disruption to either. We went 500 odd days without signing someone. 500 days without signing someone. So listen, Simon is completely bang on the money. Arsenal had to get rid of their debt, but Arsenal did what they had to do and they paid the debt. They didn't restructure it. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They didn't do 15 different. It's like literally when you got a credit card and you get another one to transfer the money on and get lower interest, and then you find another one, you get lower interest, then you split. That's all we do. We just move the debt around. Arsenal cleared their debt.
Arsenal had the balls to get rid of Ozil. They had the balls to get rid of Aubameyang, and they got rid of the Deadwood.
They
Eric
took the
Dyer,
hit.
still at Tottenham. Davinson Sanchez, still at Tottenham. Ben Davies, Sessing. Listen, I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's 12, 15 players at this club.
They
If you're
took
Harry
the
Kane,
hit.
you're thinking, why am I still playing with these players? I got 30 goals for this club last season, and I look at this defense, and they can't even pass a ball between them. Listen, quick super chat. I've got to quickly do these because they've been sitting there for ages.
By the way,
Matt,
smash
thank
a
you,
like,
brother.
guys. Smash a like, guys.
There's
Subscribe to the
720
channel.
people watching. I know you've all tuned in to watch the demise of Tottenham Hotspur. Welcome. But make sure you smash a like. It really helps the channel. Just take 10 seconds. Just do it right now. Get your phone and just hit the like button. And then go over to Tottenham on Tour. Hit the subscribe button over there as well. Show your love to Tottenham on Tour as well. Matt, thank you for the super chat. London Brawl, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. And we've got the Joracle, the legend that is the Jory. Seen on Tottenham TV. He says, Levy betrayed Harry Kane like the fans again and again by having no ambition, by not backing the managers, and by not honouring the gentleman agreement with City.
He's bang on. It's bang on.
How'd you argue that?
It's bang on. He's bang on. He's absolutely right. And this is what people tend to forget. Now, this is like the spin that's happening now. It's like they're trying to direct it on Kane, like Brian said earlier. They're trying to direct it towards him. And like you were saying as well, Star. And I don't like the way this has been spun, the way it's going about it. Like he's done everything. Listen, Kane has done everything and more at this club. He couldn't do any more. What more can Kane do that he hasn't done already in the time that he's been there? He's done everything as a striker that he can do. He's waited. He's given a chance. He's given the Man City opportunity. He stayed. He had a little bit of a wobble, but he came back, scored, became the best ever striker. But he's beaten Jimmy Greaves' record. What more can he achieve as a player? It's now like he wants to achieve something. And I'll tell you something now. Mark my words. Bayern Munich will win the Champions League next season. This season coming, with Kane in that team, they will win the Champions League and they will win the title as well. Some people say, well, Bayern Munich are expected to win the league.
They're trying to sign Casado now. They're trying to sign Casado as well.
And also, I said this sort of at the Barcelona stream. I said,
yeah, Brian, it was a newsfeed today. They're trying to sign Moses Casado.
No, but they said, I said in the Barcelona game, we done a watch along here, and I said they will try and present Kane as a new Bayern player for the Super Cup against Borussia Dortmund this Saturday. They are playing Saturday, and I'll be watching that game, and I guarantee you that he will be there on Saturday and be waived as a new star that's signed for Bayern. And we got to prepare now. We're trying to think: are we playing with Richarlison up front against Brentford, or are we playing Son up front? That's the dilemmas we got now. Because a proper club. Sorry, so let me just. A proper club would say, do you know what? We've lost Kane. He's going to go. We've got another player. Personal agreement has been the personal terms have been agreed, and as soon as he goes out, this guy's going to come in. So the Spurs fans are going to be disappointed since he can't go, but we've got a big player coming in to take his place. A proper club functions that way. We don't do that because we don't plan for nothing. We're going from today, tomorrow to drag it out to 3 days before kickoff. And now we're going to have to face a Brentford match without our number 9, number 10 in this case, without our best striker. It's absolutely shocking, man.
Listen, we've got Eugene, Steve, and Danny, the bud in the background, went to come in. I'm going to bring him in, but before I bring them in, I'm just going to ask you one quick question, then I'll bring them in. And by the way, anyone else who wants to come on the show today, that's okay, but we're going to have a maximum 6 on the show at any one time because it just becomes too chaotic, okay? Brian, I'll go to you first.
Yeah.
Does Harry Kane go to
Sorry, guys, I'm just thinking as I'm going. Sorry, Paul Maddison, all ready to assist goals for Kane. He's out. Maddison must be.
Whoa, 1 minute. Wait. I've got to ask you.
Brilliant. I'm the assist man. I just like a striker to give the ball to now. Oh, let me set Richarlison up. It's the same.
My God. Do you know what?
He must be buzzing. He might as well.
They held back on Madison's shirt number, didn't they? They held back on it. So
they knew, man.
They knew they were going to accept this bid anyway. Okay, Brian. Before I bring in the boys, quickly, just a yes or no. Does Harry Kane go or does he stay?
Well, I'll say the opposite. Come on, Brian. One of us is gonna get it right. Come on, at least. Let's go.
I'll go first. I'll help you out. He's gone. I think he's gone. Right, Brian.
I just to say very quick. I think he's going to stick it to Levy. I think he might stay now, but only to stick it to Levy and go on a free. That's what I'm sort of seriously thinking.
If he does that, I think the fan base will turn against him.
Well,
No,
that'll
come
just
on.
show this fan base for what it is.
How can they turn against Kane? How can they turn against him? What's the reason?
The same reason our fans turn against
Levy.
Anyone.
Why not turn against Levy?
Don't be silly, Levy. Don't be silly.
Don't do that.
Why not turn against Levy?
Don't be
Why
silly.
turn against a legend
Iggy,
of the?
I need to bring the boys in. Well, I need to bring the boys in. Iggy, yes or no? Does he go or does he stay?
I hope he stays and stick it on. I really do. I'm going with Brian on this. I love it. Listen, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. I think he's gone. I do think he's gone. But I wouldn't half love. Big up, guys. I wouldn't half love him to stay and go like this to Levy. I would love it. And Danny, I know Danny would as well. Danny's laughing because he agreed. He would love nothing more to say. Do you know what, mate? You know you lot agreed, but no, it wasn't an agreement that we had. But you know what? I think I'm going to stay. Is that all right? Stay
okay, right. Let me go to Danny. Right, Danny, let me come to you.
I would love it.
You mentioned
love it.
Right. Okay, Danny, let me ask you a question. If Harry Kane stays, right, let's say he does stay, and then Bayern come out and say, we can't believe what he did. He's not a man of his word. This isn't what he promised. Shame on you. Something like that. When Harry Kane then gets to go on a free, what club is going to trust him?
Oh, every club will trust him. I mean, it's Harry Kane. You just no. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. You're not gonna not offer Harry Kane a contract if he's a free agent. I've been saying this for the last 2 months. Every top
Bayern have
club
offered him a contract, Danny.
Look, I know Bayern have offered him a contract, but let's be honest, right? If he stays one more season, right? Any sane person with logical sense, in my opinion, anyone with logic in Harry Kane's position, right? It's better for him if he stays because then he has two options in the summer. If Spurs let's just say they do a miracle this season and they finish 5th. Just say, right, argument's sake, they finish 5th.
Possible.
Champions League football, playing good football. Maybe they progress to they're competing for an FA Cup or something. They get to the semi-final or something. Harry Kane might look at it and possibly just think, do you know what? Now I can see the club going in the right direction. I'll sign a contract. But if he doesn't, then he can go anywhere he wants because let's face it, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Real Madrid,
Newcastle,
all offer him a contract. Every single one of them will still. And that's my opinion. And then for me, I've been saying this all summer as well. Look, I've said this on other shows. I've said this on my own opinion. I want Kane to stay, right? Because I still have this hope that there's a tiny bit of hope that he might sign a new deal with a release clause in the summer,
Danny.
right?
Danny, you're deluded.
No, honestly,
you're
right?
Absolutely deluded.
That's his word. That's his word.
It's not beyond. It's not beyond.
That's right. Yeah, I'm putting it back on him. I'm putting it back on him.
Listen to why. Yeah. Listen. If they say to Harry Kane in the summer, right?
Man City 2 years ago,
right? Yeah, but still, I personally still think Munich's not the destination for him. I don't think it is. I think he wants to stay in England. I think if he goes to Europe, there's only 2 clubs in Europe he goes to: Barcelona, Real Madrid. That is it. That's the only 2 clubs he goes to in Europe for me, right? And in England, I still think Man City is a possibility next summer, man. Don't rule it out.
I said that.
Honestly,
I said he'll end up there.
Don't rule it out. Right?
Yeah, I
Look
agree.
at what Pep was saying about Kane today. He was saying he drops deep, he does everything. He's a complete footballer. Pep was saying this today. He was talking how good Harry Kane is. I'm telling you now, if Harry Kane's a free agent, every club is going for him, right? And my thing is with this, right? For me, I don't see the issue, right, in Harry Kane going on a free transfer because, in my opinion, and I've been saying this for a while, right? We are one of the richest clubs in the world. Harry Kane leaving should not affect our transfer policy at all. I know people have got other opinions on this, right? Agreed. And people will say, yeah,
but Danny, you know it will, though. Danny, but you know it will.
I know, but still, I know it will, right? But I don't think it makes a difference in terms of the club. Okay, look, it might make a little difference in terms of this season. We might be able to go and get a couple more players than we couldn't get if Harry Kane wasn't leaving.
We wouldn't pay £25 million for Raya.
Yeah, probably not. No. But the thing is, still, this is the thing, right? I don't think it makes a difference because we're not going to go and buy those 70, 80 million pound players anyway, right? So I don't think it makes a massive difference. I think personally, this is how I think Levy's looking at it. Levy's looking at it as that if Harry Kane does stay, he'll be pissed off because he's not getting the money now. But I don't think he's going to be too angry because if he was 100% sure he wanted Kane to go, he would have told Bayern Munich at the beginning of the summer, this is the fee, pay this, and this is a done deal, right? And it would have happened a long time ago. It would have happened weeks ago. But he's dragged it out this long, and now 2 days before the Premier League starting, he wants to accept an offer. And Harry Kane's now, well, I'm not sure I want to go now. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. I think it's a massive PR stunt, this thing, right? I think it's a huge PR stunt, what the club have done. I think what they've done is they've made it look like now that it's all in Kane's hands now. It's up to Kane.
Yeah.
If Kane wants to stay, they're making it on, they're putting the onus
on Kane.
It on
him. Yeah,
they're taking it away from Daniel leaving the club. And they're
That's
saying,
what I said.
Look, Kane,
PR.
we've accepted a bid.
PR.
We've accepted a bid,
Yeah.
but it's up to you now. You can go if you want to. But then what they'll do is the board will blame Harry Kane and they'll blame him for trying to force him to a club. Maybe it's a good opportunity. Don't get me wrong, Bayern's a top club. I just don't think it's what Harry Kane envisioned himself playing for. Like as a young boy, or even last season, I think he envisions himself playing in the best club in England, which is either Man City or Man United in terms of legacy. Man United are the biggest club in one of the biggest clubs on the planet, from Real Madrid, or Real Madrid or Barcelona, and it's still an option. Lewandowski's getting old, man. He's next season. He might not be the same player. And you've got Harry Kane coming in, a younger regen of him. I mean, who says no, right? If he's a free agent, every club is going to want to sign Harry Kane next summer. Even Liverpool might go for him. And this is the thing. And so for me, look, someone I said on Savage stream earlier on, I said, if Tottenham were guaranteed to go and sign Eze, Orban, and Tapsoba, if it meant we had to sell Harry Kane, I would bite your hand off for that right now.
Spot on.
Yeah, because we know it would soften the blow and we'd actually see that the money has been properly invested back into the squad.
If it was guaranteed.
I think every fan would be like, do you know what? We don't want him gone, but at least they put the money back into some quality. I get that.
Exactly.
But Danny, we know they're not going to do that.
No, they won't. They won't. We'll be lucky if we get one of those players I just mentioned. Even when Kane goes.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, Stel. Good evening, Iggy. Good evening, brother.
What's up,
Danny the Bun. Haven't seen you in such a long time. And of course, good morning to Steve all the way in America, right, guys? As calm as possible. After the earlier show we had, I took a nap. I woke up, and I think it's going to be like this now, right?
We're still going on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what happens now.
Still the same show.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not the same
Still
show.
streaming.
It's continuation of the show.
What I see now, everyone, smash the like button. Tottenham
subscribe, guys. Come on.
Persuasion, Steve's channel. Yeah. Just smash the like.
Everyone.
Yeah, guys. All I see is this is very simple now, right? This Kane drama dragged on until now, 3 days before the season starts, and you know, the PR machine, like Danny's saying, it's churning, right? In the beginning, Kane came out and says that, no, I'll give you until the first game of the season. Daniel Levy, please make up your mind what you want. Now, Bayern has come in with the offer, which the club has accepted. Now, Levy has thrown the ball back to Kane's court. Guys, it's all bullshit drama, right? The main thing what they're doing now is that they are deflecting all the issues that the club has, the problems that the club is facing, right? They're taking this club drama again, right? They're dividing the fans again. They're making the fans say, "Oh, is he staying? Is he not staying? Oh, we hate Kane if he goes. Oh, we hate Kane if he stays." You know, it's just all that drama going around over and over and over again. Why can't he just come out and say, right? They're trying to blame it to Kane. If Kane makes his decision to leave, it's Kane's fault that he wants to
Eugene,
go, right?
Eugene, in your opinion, does Harry Kane need to come out and now say something or not?
Bro, it doesn't happen with Spurs. Have you not noticed it? Nobody
No,
comes out to
but,
say,
but I'm asking you, right? Does Harry Kane, in your opinion, does Harry Kane need to come out and say something now or not? Because so far he said nothing. Is this now a moment where he has to come and say something?
okay, it's very simple, right? 1 week ago, Bayern Munich came out and said something, ultimatum. This is our last bid. 1 week later now, right? Levy has accepted Bayern Munich's bid, right? Kane also said something like, I'll give it until the Brentford game, right? It's not the Brentford game. The club played a very good card.
No, he said before the Brentford game. He wants it done before the Brentford game.
3 days
So
before
this is before the Brentford game, though. This is before Brentford.
So that's why now it's like, Kane, here's the ball. You catch it. All right.
Okay.
Now,
but you haven't answered the question. You haven't answered the question. Does Harry Kane need to come out and speak or not?
Yes. I will tell
Can I
you.
say something still?
Kane will come out tomorrow and say he's leaving.
I think the deal will have to be done. If he is going, I don't think he's going to go. If he does, I'll be quite surprised if I'm brutally honest. If he does go, then it is what it is, and I think it will be done before Saturday. I think it will be wrapped up tomorrow. But Romano was saying that he'll have his decision made by the end of today. So he was suggesting that it'll be today. He'll make his decision. But if he does decide to reject Bayern Munich, then it kind of also makes you think. You have to kind of ask the question. Unfortunately, well, if Harry Kane was going to reject them, why didn't he come out in the beginning of the summer and saying, I'm not going anywhere this summer? Because it's kind of dragged it out the whole summer.
You know what the excuse is, Danny? You know what the excuse is?
What?
Oh, I'm enjoying the football. I'm enjoying getting to know this manager. I want to see how it goes. And Kane will buy himself a year, and fans will get sucked into thinking, oh, do you know what? If the football's going to be good and we do well, he'll sign a new contract. But what will happen is we'll get to the end of the season, and then he'll do what he's probably thinking is, I need to get out.
No, Estelle. Honestly, I honestly believe if Tottenham are showing that, I don't believe Tottenham will show the right ambition, but I do believe if they do show the right ambition, right, that there's every chance he will stay. I still think deep down, Harry Kane wants nothing more than to try and win some trophy with Spurs. And it's not. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
To show the ambition, right? Why didn't they sign the two quality centre backs in June? Why didn't they sign all the players that were needed to be signed?
Eugene, the thing I know about the Van der Ven deal, that wasn't Tottenham. Why? It
doesn't have to be Van der Ven, Danny.
But Eugene, hold on, Eugene. You can't throw that statement out, right? Because if you actually look at the actual facts, we signed Van der Ven as soon as they signed their left back replacement, they signed, right? Danny, so what they were doing is they were waiting to sign their replacement before they let go of Van der Ven. So Eugene, you have to remember the money that we offered Van der Ven, what was initially agreed, they changed their price on what they valued him at. So the price went up, so they had to renegotiate.
Danny, you're not listening to what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be Van der Ven. Right, Timber was out there, and Dika was out there.
Eugene, I'm sorry. Eugene, Timber is never coming to Spurs. He's not coming to Spurs.
That is an example. I'm saying there are other defenders.
Let me ask you a question, Eugene. Are you happy with Van der Ven signing?
I'm not sure yet.
See, for me, I'm happy with it because that was the number one target the manager wanted. That was the one target he wanted. They went out and got the number one target for the manager, and it took long because of all the issues they had along the way, and that's the thing. But for me, as much as I would have loved to sign, I was one of them saying, everyone was saying, why can't we sign Van der Ven right now? But if you actually look into the reasons why, I understand Wolfsburg's point of view. They hold all the cards.
I understand why we can't sign Van der Ven right now, but I'm saying apart from Van der Ven, we don't need only one. I mean, if he's wanted by. And
of course, we need more, but
we need more. Why didn't we bring in more?
But right now, because also Tap Sober, right? I'll tell you about Tap Sober. Tap Sober again. The price was raised for him as well. They now want something like 70 million euros. Like it's ridiculous the money they want for him. It's not worth that. Tottenham want to pay like.
Hold on. One second. Right. I do want Steve to come in. I just want to say one thing. Then I'll do some super chats and I'll go to Steve. Right. listening to this conversation, I see what Eugene's trying to say. If we went and got the business done early, it might have shown ambition to Kane and he might have persuaded him. Do you know what? Actually, we are going in the right direction. Okay, I get it. At the same time, Danny, you know when you say about, but that price went up and this price went up. We could have bought Raya, but we said we're not paying 40 million for a player who's got 1 year left. And we bid like below 20 million or something like that. Arsenal go in and strike a £3 million loan deal with no obligation to buy. That says to me, either we're not serious about bringing these players to the club, or we are terrible in the transfer market, because Arsenal seem to be putting blinders out their backside, left, right, and centre. So I don't know where I'm at with it. I just want to do the super chats quickly. We'll pick up this conversation again. And thank you, William, who says, why are our leaders on their jollies? We don't need quantity, it's quality, as we ain't in anything. I think most of us agree with that. Anthony LaFleur says, I think Kane goes because buying is an opportunity for Kane to win trophies, and Spurs will be able to make a profit on Kane and reinvest in the club.
Agree with everything there apart from the last 3 words.
Yep. Reinvest in
the club.
Yeah. 4 words, my bad.
And then Erika Green says, I see Kane staying and signing a new deal. Well, you're kind of in the Danny camp with that one. Steve, look, you support 6,000 clubs. You've put a Bayern Munich shirt on for this show. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. As a Newcastle fan who's buzzing, you're in the Champions League, you've got ambitious owners that are going to pump money into the club over time.
Yeah.
When you look at the situation with Kane, right, what do you make of it now? Now that the bid's been accepted and it's over to you, Kane, where are you at with this?
Just a goddamn mess. It's just a goddamn mess. No one actually knows what's gonna happen, bro. I just hope he goes, honestly. And if I would probably be this way. I don't obviously want him to see him go to a Man United or whatever, but I think just for everyone involved, I think move on, a new chapter. Have you guys ever had people in your life that were very good to you? You had great times with them, they were beneficial to you, but eventually time moves on, right? Some people aren't in your life forever and ever and ever. Good things come to an end. I think your time with Kane was a good one. It should have been a lot better. There should have been a trophy or 2 in there. Yes. I just think it's time to move on to something new. It's not going to be
a bit like a job when you've got workmates and you'll get on. Then you just want to go and do something different now. But
whatever,
you
college, university. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, people are here. And you know what? The other thing is, too, that nobody's thinking about. He's leaving on good terms. In terms of playing on the field, he's still dominant. Imagine if Kane had a whole season where he was just awful, terrible. I know that's unlikely.
But are you saying he leaves on good terms if he goes to Bayern Munich? Because if he goes on a free, will that be good terms?
Oh, no, not the free. I'm talking about for cash money. That's why I'm saying right here, right now, this is good. This is, for me, defined as good terms. Because from a PR side of things, I think he's done all right because he's just kept his mouth shut. And whether people like that or not, that's probably the best way to do it, to be honest, because it keeps your options open. For you guys, it's hell because he hasn't said definitively, I'm staying, I'm going. It's I don't know. But that's what he's going to do from PR side of things. I think the England captaincy also plays a big part in this too, because they don't like naughty boys, right? They they've got to keep their fucking image nice and clean. So he can't be doing the transfer request and, throwing his toys at the pram and all that stuff. So I think, I'm not surprised by his kind of behavior or lack of it in the public sense. I don't know. Like, I just
feel like he goes or stays? Steve, does he go or stay?
I think he goes. If he has an ambitious bone in his body, he goes.
Let me come back.
I think Steve is more. I think it's more ambitious if he stays. And sorry, still. I just think just to caveat that I think he's more ambitious for him if he goes next summer when he can choose whichever club he wants to go to, because then it's really in his hands. He could go to Man City, Man United. He'll go to anywhere he wants.
Could go Arsenal.
I mean, Bayern is ambitious though. Bayern.
It could go Arsenal win the league.
No, that's the other thing too. Don't y'all want him y'all don't have any beef with Bayern München, I'm assuming, correct? No, maybe if anyone. Okay,
No
y'all have
problem
beef
with
with
Bayern.
Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever. So
But Brian,
Just-
Brian said that earlier on. Brian said if Kane ends up going on a free to any club, he'll accept it, but not Chelsea and Arsenal. And I think that's probably the same for every Spurs fan.
So wouldn't y'all rather him leave
I actually don't
right
care if he
now
goes
to
Chelsea.
Bayern?
Then
Arsenal.
I'll tell all the Spurs fans, right? Go
Sorry,
there with
sorry, Danny, did you just say
Run
if
it
he
down.
goes to Chelsea, it won't bother you?
Nope.
What's wrong with you?
It,
I
it
thought
wouldn't
y'all
bother me.
hated
Where's the other
Chelsea.
Danny?
Actually, what wanted me at
I
this
thought y'all
Arsenal.
fucking hated Chelsea.
I hate Chelsea, yeah. It would be.
With
Do you know what,
Poch, I
though? I'll tell you why, right? Because
Really?
there's so many fans, right, in this Tottenham fan base that have this sentimentality about where Kane goes if he goes on a free, and they don't want to see him playing for another club, and they contradict themselves when they talk about sentimentality, right? We had this conversation on Perchy's stream, and for me, like, look, of course it's not going to be nice seeing him play for Chelsea, but I wouldn't mind if I don't care that much if he plays for Chelsea because I care about what we do after he goes, right? Now, if he goes to Arsenal, for me, that's a different story. I feel that it's worse, and I don't think he would go to Arsenal. And I'm 90% sure he won't go to Chelsea. There's still a chance he can, but I think he wants more than that, man. I think Harry Kane wants something like elite.
Isn't
club.
Bayern München elite?
Yeah, but it's
They-
different.
they
They're not in
will
England. They'll win
No, but
every.
you
They'll
can-
win every season. They win
Danny,
trophies
okay.
every
They
season.
don't win the
Nah,
World
they're
Cup.
gonna win.
Lost the
They'll win the
fucking
Champions
Freiburg
League for
last
me.
year.
One at a
William.
time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
Okay, let's say he goes to Bayern, right? Do 3 years there. He still can come back.
To do
It's
what?
never too late.
It won't come back. It would be a 5-year deal.
No,
if
but
he
you still
goes.
can come back after 5 years, right? Bayern might most probably want to sell him after
If
3
he goes
years.
back to Spurs, it's for the wrong reasons, I think.
But to come back, sorry, in 5 years' time, to come back to do what?
Yeah, he's not going
Exactly.
to do anything. He's not going to do anything.
For marketing.
I'm not bothered about having him back in 5 years' time. For me, it's the here and
That's
now.
the thing, y'all
Eh,
just got it.
Well, no, we're building for the future. So Kane can be part of that future that we're building for in 5 years' time. Come on, guys. There's no point of having him back in 5 years' time. It's just
Yes.
this is now the sentimental side of people that are speaking. I don't see the
Yeah.
point. Once he's gone now,
Well,
that's
Iggy,
it. I
Gareth Bell came back and he did all right.
don't- do
Gareth
what?
Bell came back.
Do what?
To come
Well,
on
we
the
got-
club and score some goals,
One
win.
minute, one
To
minute.
win
We
what?
got, 1 minute. We got to a cup final with Bale, but we sacked the manager.
Yeah.
We
You
did
lot
get
Yeah,
to
that
the
wasn't that
I'm
great.
just saying,
For
we did.
me, that Bale
We did.
coming back was a waste of time. Listen, don't get me wrong, he did his bit, but it's not something that
If
we
we kept
needed.
Mourinho and won the Carabao Cup, we wouldn't be saying that.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
But we didn't, so I am saying it.
It's a waste of time because we sacked the manager. We sacked the manager.
Listen,
I mean-
don't get me started on that. And the other dude, right? It's like we listen. The fact of the matter is, and I said it earlier on, with a player on the verge out, you should be having someone on standby, ready, a personal terms agreed, and he should be putting pen to paper the moment your player goes out. So here goes, look, sorry about that guy, but we've got this guy now. We don't do things like that. We're not prepared. We haven't got anything lined up. There's no. When was that transfer? When was the last time you signed someone and we've gone, wow, what a signing! What a signing, man! Van der Vaart.
Maybe James Madison.
Van der Vaart was the last time I said, wow,
Wow.
man. Did we
Wow.
just sign that guy?
Yeah.
Van der Vaart was levels, man.
Okay.
And we haven't signed anything of the sort. Now, I feel sorry for James Madison. James Madison's come to link up with Kane, and he's off. So
Well, that's
James,
on Madison. Do you think James Madison is completely oblivious to all this Kane speculation
of
talk?
course, I'm not
If
saying.
having dummies like us know about it, I'm pretty sure his teammate would.
But
Don't
it's-
you think?
No, I agree, but it's like it's still a kick in the teeth. I'm not saying there wasn't a hope, but obviously for him, it's like us. We knew this day would come, but we're still here
Yeah.
talking about it, and we're a little bit pissed off about it. But it was like, why are you pissed off? If you knew this day was coming, why are we pissed off about it?
You had all this time to
what I mean?
prepare.
But you're still pissed
No,
off
but
when it
it's
happened.
still- yeah.
You're still pissed off when it happened. So that's all I'm saying. It's just, do you know what it is, guys? It's like we knew that this day was coming. We knew that his contract was running out. We knew that this situation was always arising, and we in that time, that the 2-3 years leading up to this point, we didn't do that shit about convincing the guy that we was moving in a different direction. As a club, I'm talking about. Not with Ange Postecoglou. I don't listen. The guy's, he's shown us in a little time the way he wants to play football. And listen, that's the only good thing about this whole situation. Is like I'm seeing a manager who's hungry to do well and getting us to play good football. But Stoll's right when he says at some point or another he's going to get found out if he doesn't get the right players in the right areas. Now we're leaking goals on one side, and we don't know if Mickey van der Ven will help us to reduce to 63 goals that we conceded last season. But at the other end, we're losing 30 goals a season. So it's like having a short blanket. Do you cover your feet or do you cover your head? You're like, you don't. It's like at the moment we've got two situations right here, back and front. That there's goals missing at the front and goals going to be.
We cover our balls.
I want to ask Brian a question. Quick super chat. I've missed just two super chats. Let me do them, then I'll go to Brian. Awesome Or says Chelsea is waiting for Kane next year. Levy, great decision, stupid. And then Elias says, agree with Danny. It should be Kane's choice, not Levy. Thank you to both of you for the super chats. Brian, if Harry Kane was to go on a free next season, would that be leaving on good terms with Spurs or not?
I said it before. Also, check WhatsApp still. Someone wanted to come on, so I've just sent you the. Let me know. No, if Harry Kane, I'll keep saying it. If Harry Kane leaves for free, well, as I look at Harry Kane for a Spurs fan, as me being a Spurs fan, has this man, apart from obviously not turning up at a couple of finals, but that's been the whole team. Let's face it, Harry Kane got us to those finals. He has done everything. He's like Ron Seal. He does what it says on the tin. Harry Kane scores goals. Harry Kane creates goals. Harry Kane has done everything he can for this football club, and we have had we've had chances of glory around us, and we haven't followed through to get in the quality he needs. If he leaves on a free, like I said, unless he goes to two certain clubs, he leaves, I will clap him off. If he comes back to Tottenham, if it's the Premier League, I will clap him. When Gaza came back at Middlesbrough and Everton, everyone was singing your Spurs and you know you are the whole game. I will sing everything. Harry Kane leaves his football club on a free, unless it's two football clubs. He will get my utmost respect. He'll get my utmost thanks. He'll get everything from me. Everything. He leaves for a free. He's played Levy at his own game. If he walks out the door, he's played Levy at his own game, and he's shown Levy for the prick he is. Basically.
Yeah.
He's playing him at his own game. Jory, welcome to the show. Great to have the Joricle on.
Hey, Jory.
Thanks for
whoever's phone's pinging, put it on silent. It's really loud.
Sorry about this.
That's okay. Oh, is it you, Jory?
It's my phone. Yeah, sorry.
You're getting all the latest Fabrizio Romano updates coming through.
It was no, it's just the wife, just the latest from home front.
Ladies, how many wives you got, Joey? Joey, you player. What's happening, my man?
No, I just had to grab this opportunity because I think it's actually the first time I've disagreed with Danny. So I think
ding.
I have to put my 2 cents in there. So one thing I want to bring up with you guys is like we all talk about Kane as being one of our homeboys, basically homegrown, and a fan of the club, a true fan of the club. And I definitely believe that. And if you think about that, if you consider that, then I say, okay, but how does Kane then feel about Enoch and Levy? I'm towards the end that, especially after what he's gone through now, he's probably not very happy about that tenure, to be honest, if he loves this club like all of us does, you know. So I think that's one kind of cognitive dissonance that's in there. If Kane loves the club, well, he must be just as dissatisfied as many of us are with it being, or at least us that think this club is kind of being held to ransom by this group. And also, I think the Man City thing is a much bigger thing than people realize. I run a small business. I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of contracts. And I know many of you guys run your own business and have to do contracts as well and stuff like that. And I tell you guys, I know from my experience, I'm not revisiting any contracts with a person that burns me. Even if it's legally possible, I'm not going back to that person and doing another contract. And I do think that's a big, big factor. The fact that Kane thought he had an agreement with Levy during the Man City summer, and Levy basically held him to the letter of the law instead of honoring the spirit of the agreement, is something that he's not gonna let you fool me once, fool me twice, and all of that. He's not gonna get fooled twice. So I do think that's also a big one. I think this whole thing that we're hearing now, I agree with you guys. It's Levy PR. They don't want to sit. They're passing the buck on to Kane. They want to make it appear as if it's Kane's final decision. The decision was made a long time ago when this club decided to be unambitious. Not to build a team around Kane and Son, a real contending team. We had it. We could have, pushed the boat out. Not even pushed the boat out. We could have just done what any club would do, and bought in when Potts needed to get over the hump, and we didn't. So I really hate to see, to be honest, all these fans getting their hopes up. I can understand it after the 4 goals, especially in that game. We all would love to see Kane, stay and do his thing here. But I feel like it's just a big spin job being run now. So,
Jory, let me ask you a question. And before you answer, there's news all over social media now that a third party has entered the negotiations and have offered Harry Kane a better deal if he goes on a free at the end of next year. So bear that in mind. Listen,
It could
it's
be Man City.
rumors.
yeah.
It's rumors. It could be PR, like you said. It could actually be real. We don't know, but that's doing the rounds at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens now? Because the Brentford game's on Sunday. This has to be sorted in the next 2 days.
Yeah,
so what do you think will happen?
2 days.
I mean, yeah.
Today, man.
It needs to be sorted.
No, I'm just
today,
saying.
I agree. I think.
It needs to be done now.
think,
I agree.
So one way to burn Levy, actually, let's say this is PR spin from Levy. One way to burn him is actually not to accept the deal and leave him with no money, and then go to a Premier League club, because no matter, I mean, yeah, you might get heat on yourself, but it will definitely put a lot of heat on the board for letting him just go, no money in, and he's going to go to a rival. And to be honest, I think if things deteriorate as well, Chelsea might be in the picture. I mean, the love for Potts is strong with Kane, and to be honest, how many times you know how these breakups go. People are trying to settle in a nice way and whatever, and then one betrayal, another betrayal, and all of a sudden it gets really dirty and nobody cares anymore, and they go full on full retard, as they say, and burn the house down. So and I can see a scenario.
Iggy, turn the pound sign off. Turn the pound sign off in the back end.
I can see a scenario
Say
where
what you want. Just put them away. Do what you want.
I do think the City thing is very real. I agree. I don't think having Haaland is a problem. I can see Pep seeing, shipping Haaland out in 2 years' time or something, and
I don't
going
know
with
about
Kane instead.
that.
No, I can see that definitely. I mean, Haaland is amazing for them right now and is an amazing striker, but the plans that Pep had with Kane are much bigger, I think, in that term, and much
Short
more.
term, yeah.
No, well, I mean,
Haaland is 23, Kane's 30.
yeah, well, Haaland is
But-
just all,
Jory, wouldn't you have both? Wouldn't you have Haaland and Kane?
yeah, and then
And
that's what
KDB?
he's planning. I mean, one theory is that he's testing it with Alvarez this season. He's going to be testing a double striker system with Haaland and Alvarez this season, and shipping Alvarez is certainly not going to be a problem for Kane. So you can definitely. I like Pep is just doing it. He's just trying to reinvent the wheel now. He's not doing it for any accolade.
He's too smart for his own good, isn't he?
Jory, do you not
Yes,
think
that-
that
He gets
Harry
bored.
Yeah,
He gets bored. He pisses away this league.
I just think it's a fallacy that if people think that Pep Guardiola will not offer Harry Kane a contract if he's there as a free agent.
Oh yeah.
It's insanity, man. There's no way. Like for me, yeah, I think Harry Kane obviously is looking at this right, and I think like what Jory said earlier, and like what a lot of us have said, this situation with him, there's no way that this stunt, right? Personally, what I think's happened is I think this week Harry Kane and the camp have told the club what their feelings are. He's probably told them that they're happy to stay. They like Ange. They like what he's doing. They want to, and if the bid is not accepted by Bayern Munich by a certain time, then he'll stay, and he's happy to stay, and he'll probably go next. He'll assess his situation in the summer, but most likely right now the scenario is that he'll leave on a free. And Daniel Levy probably been like, okay, I'll take that on board, and then Bayern, and then the next day speaks to Bayern, I'll accept your bid, accepts it, and it's not. Oh, Harry, guess what? Now we've accepted the bid. It's up to you, mate. So now it's completely changed the onus, so that if Harry Kane walks out next summer, if he goes to say a Man United or thing, fans will blame Harry Kane more than they would blame Daniel Levy. I think personally, just how I think, and I think that's why it's like, well, Kane, you've got the option now to go and do what you want, but I think personally, this Bayern Munich thing is a way of Levy trying to force Kane out the club so he doesn't play for a rival for free, because Daniel Levy knows he doesn't want to sell to a rival for argument's sake, for his own ego. He'd rather get some money for Kane, it looks like, because he's accepted a bid from a foreign team than it would a Premier League team, because he wouldn't want to sell to a Premier League team. But if Harry Kane walks out to a Premier League team, then Daniel Levy can't do a single thing. It's the power's in his hands. So yeah,
I completely agree. I think this is a very likely
money.
scenario, Danny. I would agree with that. I think the only thing now is, like, I'm thinking maybe one way of burning Levy and turning this PR spin now is to not accept the bid and stay. And also another thing which I think plays a factor is that Harry Kane sees his chasing the goal scoring record he's gonna make a big dent in that playing a season on the hands for sure. So
he's still keeping it. I've been saying it for time. This man right here is keeping his record. I don't care if it gets broken. By the way,
I don't think so.
I just think personally,
I think Kane will get it.
If Harry Kane stays in the Premier League, he's getting the record.
He's going to smash it. He's going to smash
I think
injuries.
He's
he'll
max
smash
3 seasons away. Max,
2 seasons. If he does another 2 seasons, if he has
how far is he off? 40.
I'm saying with a little bit
Harry
of
Kane needs 1 season at Man City and he breaks the record.
Yeah,
Haaland scored 50 goals with that service. What do you think Harry Kane's going to do?
That's 50 in all comps, to be fair.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying. I'm just
36 in the Premier League. He got 36. That came 4 away to start. I think we could bank on Harry Kane scoring 4 goals in 2 seasons.
To be fair, Alan Shearer has 288 top flight goals. I always just like pointing that out to people.
Yeah,
so.
well, we're talking Premier League now, so you can you can move the goals.
I think Harry Kane's the perfect player for Man City because Pep Guardiola wants midfielders. and he is the complete midfielder. He creates and he scores. Harry Kane is perfect for Man City. Everything about
You think they could play dual tens with De Bruyne and Kane, and then Haaland up top?
I think Harry Kane can adapt to anything Pep wants. I think Pep can get it out.
I think so too.
He's a genius footballer. He's fucking incredible. Mourinho, I swear to God, Mourinho unlocked something in him on a football.
All this inverted wing backs playing with false nines. It's all Pep. It's all Pep brought this to football. You think a player like Harry Kane, Pep looks at him and thinks, I know exactly what I'm going to do with you. You know, he's the perfect player for Man City.
And I do think if we see this double striker setup, which is rumored now that Pep is working on, well, then I think that's probably with the side of getting Kane on a free. You know. So
what about them getting Paqueta though from West Ham? What if they get him though?
Plenty of strikers out there. I don't think Pep would do it for any striker. I think if he's working on such a system, is probably because he still wants to get Kane in. He doesn't need to tweak anything. He could just go same carbon copy from last season and win it all again. You know, that's the levels that we're talking about. And like you already said, Haaland's no slouch. He's pretty good at scoring goals.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of decent.
Also, you got to remember Haaland has always made it clear that he wants to go to Real Madrid one day. So he has always made that clear.
Very likely.
So,
exactly.
To be fair, didn't they say the same thing about Sergio Aguero, though? That he would only last 2-3 seasons and then go off to a Real Madrid or a Barca? Didn't they say the same thing?
No, different. Haaland's actually come out and said that he would want to play for Real Madrid one day.
Oh, no. I know he has. Yeah.
But, so like, I think that's different. Aguero never publicly stated that he wants to go and play in Spain. Whereas Haaland's made it known that,
and his dad,
his twilight years, he wants to be, or he's better. He's 22 now. 3 years time, it'd be 3 or 4
I
years
don't
time.
care about Haaland and City and Pep talking about you. I want to know what's going to happen with Harry Kane, right? Listen, we can talk about that on another show. Harry Kane right now hasn't said a word. He hasn't come out on socials. He hasn't spoken to the media. It's all speculation. 2 days ago, everyone was saying, "Oh, Harry Kane's going to stay now." Tottenham rejected the bid, and then we wake up this morning and then bang, out of nowhere, Tottenham accept bid. So
I think still
Harry Kane going to now turn around.
Brian's going to shoot off.
Yeah, I've got to shoot off to do a couple
Bye,
of
Brian.
bits. Everyone, see you later. Much love to everyone.
Thanks, Brian.
Apart from
Brian.
one man that I don't give much love to. And as always, Levy out.
Yeah, fuck Levy. Makes the Premier League worse, to be fair.
Well, it makes it entertaining.
It makes
What's happening?
Even more.
Oh, Dan, what's up, man?
Harry Kane is Judas.
Wait. Okay, please.
Saul Campbell.
I swear to God.
I told you.
Saul
Okay,
Campbell.
I told you it's coming through.
Will,
Judas.
I'm gonna get
worse
I'm gonna
than
get
Saul
onto your
Campbell.
All right.
Worse
Will,
than Saul
let me
Campbell. Daniel, no, I'm talking now.
No, but you're speaking rubbish.
No, I'm not
that.
speaking rubbish. I'm
Oh, it's
talking
Harry
now.
Kane.
He is not speaking rubbish, Dan.
I'm not speaking rubbish.
I'm the host.
It's Saul Campbell. How are you comparing
Dan,
Saul Campbell to Harry Kane?
Time out.
You're
Let him say his
Let
piece.
Will
Let him
speak,
say his piece.
and then I'll come to you, Dan. All right, we'll go.
So
down.
Harry Kane, for the past 2 years, has been moaning and bitching about Daniel Levy, trying to say he wants to come out of the club. All this summer, since day one of the transfer window, he refused to sign a contract. He was then moaning and putting pressure on the board, saying, "You've got to do it by this day." And then he said he refused. He even said that he was going to pay $20 million from his own salary to get this Bayern deal done.
hold on, bro. Hold
on. If all of that is fine, if he decides to go, because in the club he gets £100 million. We have Daniel Levy, and people can say that Daniel Levy is going to piss that £100 away, but at least he's pissing, because if he walks out that door today, or at the end of the year, and we've got nothing, all we've got is our dick in our hands. I'd rather be pissing than holding my dick.
Yeah.
Right? I only hold my dick to piss and fuck. I don't get fucked.
Yeah.
And that's what happened right now is we are getting fucked by
Dan
this.
is like, what is all this?
And then not to do that. People said, well, how do you know, Will? How do you know he's doing it for money? 11 minutes ago, breaking news, Harry Kane has turned the Byron deal down because a late offer has come in for a huge personal gain to go for free in 2024. Fucking told you. He's fucking Judas. Worse than Saul Campbell. Saul Campbell didn't intentionally cost us £100 million.
This is,
Yeah, but
this
hold
is
on.
we can see how the
No, you can't say
spin
that.
is working
Fucking
now.
Arsenal. How the fuck are you gonna compare that to him going to fucking?
What if he ends up at Arsenal, Dan?
Fuck, compare
Dan,
it.
what if he ends up at Arsenal?
You don't
He's
know
not
who
going
he's going
Arsenal.
to in the summer. He could go to Chelsea,
If he
Dan.
goes to,
He could go
if
to
he goes to
Newcastle.
Arsenal, then fine.
He's-
If he goes to Arsenal,
Instead
then
of playing
fine.
in the Bundesliga week in and week out with us having
This-
100 million buying a striker, now we've got him playing
what
against
Daniel
us
Levy
next
wants.
season.
Come on, man.
This is what Daniel Levy wants. This is what he wants.
Yes.
Fans
I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you this now.
against
Yeah.
this is
And
what
No,
he
I'm
wants.
I
a
love
fan
you,
of the
man.
club. I'm
No,
a
I'm
fan
just
of
saying.
the club,
I'm just
not a
saying.
fan
I'm
of
not
Harry
blaming you.
Kane. I am not one
I'm
who
not blaming you, Will.
who
I'm
gets
saying this is
emotional
what he
about
wants.
names on the shirt, even if it was Son Heung-min.
Thank you.
Son
Thank
Heung-min signed a contract under Nuno because he cared about the club. Harry Kane has been pushing for a move. If Harry Kane cared about Tottenham and was worried about, helping to replace his hole that he's going to leave when he walks
No,
out,
he's
which
given
is fine.
8 years.
That's fine.
He's
Look,
given 8 years, and he's been a top scorer doing it.
He's
How's
been
he
at the
not
club
getting
nearly
that?
20 years. What are you
he's
talking
got
about?
a deal to go to Byron to leave the club right now. And he could help the club out by getting £100 million. And he's choosing to hurt the club to fill his own pocket.
Will, I'm sorry.
And
Hold on.
what did Judas do?
Can I just say
He
something?
betrayed his
Let me say
friend
something.
for 30 pieces of silver.
Let Danny
Hold
speak.
on.
Let Danny speak. Let Danny speak.
Right. First of all, how can you call him Judas if he's turning down a club because he wants to give Tottenham money? I'm sorry, but he's got his own personal goals, right?
What did Judas do?
Next season, I'm sorry, but Harry Kane can go to, in my opinion, this is where he's going to go. Man United, Man City, Real Madrid, or Barcelona. One of them, the super clubs, right? That's where he's going to go next summer. That's
Bayern Munich
bigger
isn't
than
a
Chelsea,
super club.
right?
Bayern
Yeah, but
Munich
it's
is a
a
super club.
It's
What are you
different.
talking-
It's
Whoa, whoa,
different.
whoa.
What are you talking about?
different.
Who has a better
But
chance of
come on,
besides Man City? Who has a
hold
better
on,
chance
right.
to get
If he
winning the
goes to Man
Champions League?
City, what does it look better if he goes and wins the Premier League and
He
the
ain't going to
Champions
Man
League?
City. Man City
right?
don't need Kane.
Or going
They
to win
got
a
Holland.
Bundesliga and something else in Germany. It's not
Man
guaranteed.
City is not going to pull Kane on a free. Why? What's the point?
Doesn't
Of course
matter.
they- why wouldn't they?
United or,
Why would
or
they?
Chelsea or whatever.
Why wouldn't they?
Because they already have Holland and Alvarez. They don't need
think they
him.
will.
He's
No,
going
I'm sorry.
where the most likely.
Man City are going to say no to a free signing, though.
Exactly.
Why would you pay him $400-500 a week when you've got
You've got the
Erling
money.
Haaland who
Because
outscored
you've got
him
the money.
last season?
You've got the money.
But
You've
why?
got the money to do it, Will.
They
I
got the
don't have that
money
kind
and
of
they can
money.
piss around in this fucking league. They could
They're
piss
not-
around
it's
and do
not Man
whatever.
City.
I can see Man U putting more money for Kane though, because they've
Man
already.
U
I
ain't
agree
getting
with
Harry
Will.
Kane.
because
Man
they've
U
already
are
got
never
Haaland.
getting Harry Kane. Never.
Even if it
Never
is Man
There's
U.
a free. There's a possibility. There's a
So,
You
so
wanna
Harry
see
Kane's
Harry
not,
Kane in
so
a
Harry
Man U
Kane's not
shirt?
signing a new contract with Tottenham, then, right? He's not signing a new
Not
contract.
signing a new contract with Tottenham.
Right. The only way.
What
and
did
this
you
is not
hold
gonna
on? I want to
happen,
clear
is
this up
really, like,
because
make progress
Danny,
this
hold on.
season.
Danny, Kyriakou, you're Greek, right?
Yeah,
So you're a good Orthodox boy. What did Judas do?
I'm not religious, Will. So, but
He had to growing up. You had to know a little bit about your mom and dad were probably Orthodox, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what did Judas do?
No one's religious in my family. No
He
one's
sold,
religious in my
he
family.
sold
But
out.
go
He
on, I know
sold
what
out
you're-
Jesus for money.
Yeah,
Judas betrayed Jesus.
Trade him
The
for
last
what?
supper.
For money.
For
But that's
30
different.
pieces of silver.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you read the, Judas is also called Thomas. I suggest you read the Gospel of Thomas, and you'll.
Thomas Aquinas?
Different story.
No,
You know, so the
Gospel of
Judas
Thomas is
story is
different
actually
gospel. The Gnostic
Considered by
gospel.
many to be as another PR spin, but
I'm just based on the story, right? When we're talking about Judas and what Judas means, it's about a person who
in
betrays
the Gospel, if
their
you
friend
really wanna,
for
if
money.
you really want to show off your knowledge, you should look at
Will.
the Gospel of Thomas, which
Yeah,
is
Gospel of Thomas,
of
the Gnostic
Judas.
gospel. I'm familiar with the Gospel
Will,
of Thomas.
wait, Will.
And
Okay, let me
in
put this.
that-
Let me put this in perspective.
In
for
that
you.
Gospel,
If you can, yeah, go on, John.
he is told by Jesus to betray him, and he will be hated for all time after that. But he is chosen because he's the most loyal, the best of all of the disciples. So there's differing point of views,
One
and
second.
even in that,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but it's not.
One second,
Gospel
let me
Thomas
put
isn't
this
part
in
of the canon,
perspective.
right?
I would love it if people have just joined now.
Anyway.
The Bible, man.
Wait,
Listen.
Will. Listen. Listen.
Right,
Let
Dan,
me
go on.
put
Have
it
your
in
say. Let Dan have
perspective.
his say. Dan,
Why
go on,
why
speak.
isn't he
Go on,
Judas,
speak.
Dan?
Okay.
No, let Dan
Because
speak.
the Catholic.
That is a completely different thing because Jesus was showing him how powerful he was. So he had reason to stick with Jesus. What have we shown Harry Kane to give him reason to stay? How have we been like? Because
Exactly.
he's performed all these
So
miracles.
then why is Saul
What
Campbell
miracles have we
Judas?
performed? He has been at this club for how many years? We've like completely
So
thrown
why
his
is Saul
career out the
Campbell
window.
Judas then?
Yeah, why is he?
Because
He left
he
to
went to our
Arsenal.
arch
He left to
rival.
rivals for
He-
on a free.
in the interview that he was
he
going to
gave
stay.
the
And
actually
he
the
said it
free.
weeks
impression
before
that he
this
was
happened.
going to
free.
How can
stay
you
and sign a
compare?
new contract, and then he went to Arsenal. Nobody's talking about Kane going to
Right,
Arsenal.
he went to Arsenal because they were the top of they were the biggest team in the league at the time, correct?
Yeah, but
Well,
also
no,
on
it's still Arsenal.
across the road
It's still
from
Arsenal.
Tottenham.
I understand
That's
the
a
rivalry
big
between
difference, you know,
I
so-
understand the rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham. But there was no deal. Tottenham were in the middle for a bid for Saul Campbell the year before, offering £100 million that he turned down so he could go on a free. This is
Yes.
this is
Campbell-
worse than
Campbell
that.
strung
But
the
Will,
club
Will,
along
hold on.
all the
Will,
way.
hold on.
No way
Hold on.
you can
hold
actually
on.
have
Just
Hold
like
on.
Harry
1
Kane's
minute.
been stringing us along
Wow.
all the way.
That
Hold on, Will.
if that's going to happen, that's this year coming up. That's when it would be comparable. If Kane was stringing us
I can't
along
believe this is actually a
all this year
conversation.
on the hands.
believe this.
Dan's head is on Neptune, bro.
He is stringing the fans along. All of the fans out there in the chat right now are all hoping that Harry Kane may possibly 50-50 chance of signing a new deal next summer. That is literally
He's not
stringing us
signing a new
along.
deal.
No.
Unless
Yeah,
he
it's
comes
not
out and
from
says,
Kane. That's
I'm
not
leaving.
from
Hold
Kane.
on. Unless Harry
That's-
Kane comes
that's
out with his own
leaving.
mouth and says, I'm leaving, he's stringing us along.
That's
Yeah.
not Kane. That's
Do you
No,
not
he's not.
feel
He-
though?
no, he's honouring his contract.
yeah.
Yeah.
So did
Contract
Saul
says he's got
Campbell.
one more year.
Do you guys?
So did
do you
Saul
guys-
Campbell.
Campbell's
Honored his
contract ended.
contract.
Sol Campbell's contract
Guys,
ended.
Yeah, he honored his contract, didn't he?
Kane has
But,
already
yeah,
said
but Will, if
that
Sol Campbell went to Man United, if he went to Real Madrid, if he went to whoever,
Apple
he
wow.
went to Arsenal. The one thing you never do, and he was one of our own. It's not like we bought Sol Campbell, then he went
Yeah.
for free. He came through our academy. He's
But is
one
Harry
of our own.
Kane not one of
came
your
from our
own?
He's
academy.
one of our
Still.
own.
I was about to say,
Why-
isn't
why-
Harry
why-
Kane one of your own?
Hold on. Why Sol Campbell was Judas is because he told Sugar at the time, right? He told Sugar that he was going to stay and sign a new contract. He
on
told
Sky
people,
Sports, he said it
he-
6 months
he
before.
told people he was going to sign a new contract. And then the club decided not to accept the bid from Man United when the bid came in. Then he did a fucking 180 and then said, do you know what? F you, I'm going to Arsenal. Now that is the worst thing you can
And
do.
Harry Kane told
He's
Daniel
not
Levy
doing
he was
that.
going to Bayern Munich. And then on the last day,
No,
did a
hold on.
180 and said, fuck
When
you,
did he
I'm
say he was
staying
going
and
to
going
hold
on
on,
free.
Will? Hold on. When did he say he was going to Bayern Munich? He's
The
never
whole
come out
time they're
publicly.
having these. Why are they having these talks, Danny? If they're not
Why would
talking? What are you
Bayern bid?
talking
Why
about?
would Bayern bid?
Daniel Levy
4
offered Kane a
times?
$400K a week
Four.
contract with a 10-year added-on player coach
To be
deal.
fair, there's a point. That's a fair point. These contracts wouldn't be going on unless Kane was.
Yeah, but
was
there's
past-
reports
was-
coming out today
was-
saying
was
that they
past
never
it.
even agreed a contract. There's contradictory reports saying that some of the people from
Who
the
said that?
Telegraph are saying that.
So why is
people
Spurs,
from the
Danny,
Telegraph
why
are
is
saying that
Spurs
they
in
didn't agree a
negotiations with
contract.
Bayern then?
No, they're
So
saying
why is
Kane
Spurs in
turned his
negotiations?
mind.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course, right? But
I mean-
he probably changed his mind. He probably has changed his mind. He's
Yeah,
probably
because
flip-flopped
somebody
on
else
it.
called him up and said, hey, we'll give you $600K a week if you come play with us in the summer. Okay, good. Fuck Tottenham.
Could be a
Getting to have
Saudi
any
club.
chance of
Wait,
getting a
wait,
replacement.
what about this?
I'll
What
play
about
for somebody
this?
else next summer and then just screw
What
all
if
the
this?
Tottenham
What if-
people.
What if this was the
Fine.
case? What if this was the
Badge
case?
on the
What
front
if
instead
he
of
just-
name on the backs, fellas.
Okay,
Listen,
Will,
this club
what if this
now
was the
is-
case?
this-
What if he just
this
believes the
club
process
at
with
this
Ange? What if
present
that's the case?
moment-
He wants
this
to do a
club-
whole year with Ange.
This club at this present moment is one step away from being the McDonald's of football. There's not much heart
He
in it.
already is. He already is.
Our board is completely corrupt and it's all usury. It's rent seekers of the worst kind. And why would Harry Kane, be bothered with with honoring anything towards that regime? And to be honest, the sooner it comes to a head, the sooner we can have a hope of getting our club back. And if Harry Kane is a fan, maybe he wants that, just like Stel, Icky, me, and so on wants. Maybe we want this situation to come to a head. And Harry Kane, people are always talking about how big a fan he is. Well, if he's a big fan, then maybe he wants this same kind of conflict to arise so we can get it over with. Because this is always, you can say, you come in, throwing punches, and it's, for me, it's exactly every kind of big moment in this club. There's never a cohesive reaction from the fan base. Now, Will, ask yourself, why is that?
Bang on.
Why is there not a cohesive? Because people,
somebody spinning the wheels.
Yeah, well, there is somebody spinning the wheels, and the person spinning the wheels is. I don't think Daniel Levy's back here playing 4D chess, saying if I do this, this, and this, then maybe the fans will argue with each other.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but you're giving the mad scientist way too much credit. Hold on, let me finish my thought here, because the people have a hard time seeing the forest past the trees, right? Everybody's focusing on the tree right now, which is Harry Kane. Oh my God, we're losing Harry Kane. We would have finished 17th without Harry Kane's goals last season, which is a lie, by the way. Right? You can't just pluck somebody out of time and then just all of a sudden we only play with 10 men for the whole season instead of 11. Right? That's a silly, fallacious argument that people make on that. And then not see the fact that Daniel Levy, what I do know as a rational person, a person who has critical thinking skills and thinks rationally, is that Daniel Levy has been here for 23 years. Daniel Levy has never gone out of pocket on his own to buy players. We've always had to sell to buy. And now, even when we do, like with the Gareth Bale money, we may piss that money away, but at least we got Eriksen out of those 7. 1 out of 7 is better than nothing. And now we got to run into next season with nothing.
Yeah, well, with Kane.
No. Kane will be gone at the end of next season.
Yeah, but this season coming up will go in with Kane.
If he plays.
And you're talking, and we all know that, I mean, I think under Paratici, the recruiting has been actually pretty good. But before that, we pissed the money away every time we got a big sale in, for sure. And I agree.
We haven't sold a big player in a long time.
The value of getting three on Dumbele.
Eugene, let Jerry finish. And
I'm just the value of getting 3 and Dumbele's or something for the Kane money, or having Kane another season, is also something you need to think about. But just to be clear, I want Kane out. I want the money. But I don't agree at all with him being a traitor or not. And like, I think
if he turns the deal down, he's a traitor.
I'll go in. I'm gonna let him speak now. He's waited so long, but I'll just bring it up later, Stel. I'll tell you what Kane did really wrong in his career towards his squad and this club.
No, Joey, I'm going to come back to you in a minute.
Champions League
I want to hear it.
Final. That was his biggest sin in this Tottenham career for me. So bullying his way into that final, which has come out since then, over Lucas Moura, broke the squad.
He wasn't fully fit.
No, he wasn't fit. It broke the culture, the cohesiveness in the squad, and it's been hanging as a black cloud over the club. It made a really, really disgusting power relationship between Levy and Kane, which we've all been living under as well. So I want him gone just to get a fresh start. But I love Kane, and I do not think he's a bad seed. I don't think he's disloyal. I think he's very loyal, but he's also thinking about him. Kane, his main project is Harry Kane, as every player should be, especially a striker, should be a little bit egotistical to fight for his time, to get his place in history. But your
word as a man.
Give the word now to.
Yeah, but your word as a man means something, though, right? If I promise, if he agreed to, even in business,
your mic's too loud, Steve. It's really.
If you agree terms with Byron, and now he's flipping on him 180 on the last day after they did all of these things, flew to London, back and forth, meeting, having to deal with Daniel Levy's dumbass, and all of a sudden now that it actually has happened, he says, you know what, guys, I'm out. That's not a good human being.
No,
if I was in a business relationship with that guy, I would say fuck you, and I'd walk out the door.
One minute. I want to go back to Iggy because Iggy was going to say a point, and then I'll go to Eugene. Just got a couple of super chats quickly got to do because I've missed loads of them. Elias said, don't forget Jimmy Greaves went to West Ham. Thank you, Elias, for that one. Elias also says, Cullen and Levy PR work, turning fans on Kane. Why only agree this deal with same bid a few days ago, only now, like 2 days before the season starts. Hashtag Levy out.
It wasn't the same bid.
Different bid. Yeah, you're right. And Della Spurs says, I understand the frustration with Kane, but Levy knew Kane wanted to leave. Levy put the unreasonable price tag on him for years, and now Kane holds the cards in his transfer like Mbappe and PSG. All right, Iggy, you wanted to say something.
Listen, for me, whatever he comes out and says now, I think there's going to be a narrative. I don't think he can win, or is more likely to lose than win in anything he comes out with now. I also think for the numbers that have been spoken about, like money wise, this very deal could have been done 6 weeks ago. From what we've been told, from what's been reported, why did we string it along 6 weeks to get to this point, to only then sell for the money we could have sold him for 6 weeks ago, allowing us enough time, first of all, to just kind of get over it, and then also getting another player in? That's the other question. That the money things to hold on to this point, for me, something doesn't add up. And thirdly, I hear what you guys are saying. I don't agree with everything that's been said, but I understand everyone's point. But my thing is this, okay? Kane has been at this club for God knows how long. He signed the last deal on I say some sort of promise that we would be competing. We tried to get we did get the managers in that were winners, and he was promised under that time that he signed the 6-year deal, I believe it was, in the previous deal, that he would be involved in a competitive Tottenham side. Something that's not been is anything but competitive, and we haven't been really competitive since probably that Champions League final where we went all the way. We went to the final anyway, and since then it's like now he gave us another four years. His numbers have never dropped. He's still achieved personally the golden boot, the golden, the top goal scorer and all of that. He's achieved all the stats, all the numbers that needed to be done at Spurs. He's done that, but he hasn't achieved being involved in a team that fights for honours. Now he's looking at it, and I agree with Joey when he says he's looking at it from Kane in a selfish point of view. He's like, fuck, I've thought about Tottenham. I've played for Tottenham. I've done the deal. I've done the last contract because I believed what the owner told me. Now I'm in a position to say, fuck you, Levy. I'm not, now this is happening on my terms. Yes, Will, it is selfish. Absolutely, it is selfish. And I don't see it as like he's doing a wrong if he doesn't allow Spurs to cash in on him. That should have been Spurs' priority throughout. If we knew it wasn't going to count as a sign, he should have been sold last season.
But we didn't know he was going to sign until this season. That's the point.
Yeah, but we knew that he refused the contract when it was offered, whenever it was. So why did we wait? Why not sell him in June or in July? Why not say, do you know what? Forget about it. It's done.
50 plus with Man City for sure.
We should, as soon as the season ended, it should have been Kane. Thank you very much. Now it's like as soon as we get the right deal, we go and we sell him in June. So we wouldn't have to be doing this 3 days before the league campaign starts. We shouldn't have to be doing this.
Iggy, can I ask you a question? Is there any part of you that thinks that just maybe the gentleman's agreement that Levy and Kane had, this is payback?
A little bit. You got to put yourself in his position, okay? We put ourselves in Levy's position. We got to try and look at it from his eyes.
As in, is Kane doing this on purpose to say, no, I will have the final say?
I think Kane rode on the fact that Levy was going to play hardball with Bayern Munich. I think he rode on that a little bit. I think he said, you know what? I don't think he's going to agree with it. And he's playing my game by refusing that leaves me the full autonomy to choose the club that I want to play with the following season. Now, I think maybe, because I say it again, the numbers don't add up for me, because these numbers are the same numbers that were offered 6 weeks ago. If Levy should have, he could have accepted it. Similar. Come on, we're talking.
No. It was £65 million they offered before.
Yeah, but this is the 4th attempt now.
Yeah, and it's been going up about 10 to 15 million pound every time. That's how they got to 100.
But this, to the last offer they offered, it's not at that huge a difference for you to hold out.
85 to 100. It's 15 million pounds.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
but you got to look. You got to look at it. You're playing hardball.
Picked up the phone and said, "Let's get this deal done." They would have gotten there right away.
Levy
no
did.
problem.
Levy put the price out. He said, "I want 100 million pound." That's the price.
And that's not what we're talking
Bayern,
about. We're talking about Bayern München have not heard from Levy all summer. He's not.
That's not true.
He has not gone into working negotiations till this last month. That's when it
this
started.
past month.
Yeah. That's the same with City. You need to work with people for this to get done. Levy could have worked with them, gotten it done in a week. If he
went to Miami.
They gave him a deadline and he went to Miami. They gave him a deadline for the transfer and he just went to the Miami.
It's like LeBron.
It's always the same thing. This is Levy's way of pretending to be a man. You know.
I don't like
Daniel Levy either.
I don't like Daniel Levy either. But you guys are letting your emotions blind you to logic here.
Is it not 100 million euros?
I'm not emotional. I might be passionately speaking, but I'm not emotional.
A traitor and so on.
Yeah, that's because he is being a traitor.
Even if the plan,
how is he being a traitor?
On a
what is the definition of a traitor
at all? I think you're. I don't know.
Yeah, definitively, Will is correct. If you look at the definition of a traitor,
he's not.
Harry Kane has a contract. Harry Kane has a contract.
A person who betrays, a person who betrays a friend, country, or principal, etc. Backstabber,
that's what we've done to Kane.
Double crosser, double dealer. Hold on, he's a double dealer. These are all synonyms for traitor. If he's told Bayern that he was going to go, and Bayern and Levy were working, fighting, arguing, bitching, crying, moaning. They finally got the deal done. Spurs are about to get some cash, and then Harry Kane says, "You know what, guys? Fuck you both. I'm doing my own thing." That is literally the definition of a traitor.
No. First of all, traitor is when the words like traitor and stuff like that is thrown about. It's by people who have no arguments to present. You know, it's.
What are you talking about? It's literally the definition of the word. It's not an ad hominem attack.
No double dealing here in terms of
there is.
And he's been clear. He said
Did he tell Bayern he was going? Yes or no?
He said. I'm very unlikely to sign another contract with Tottenham a long time ago. It's very clear. If we want the money for him, we need to sell him. That's it.
Did he tell Bayern he was coming?
He did.
Did he tell Levy he wanted to go to Bayern?
Do we know that officially?
We don't know. I think the way Bayern's been talking, it's very likely that he promised them actually.
Okay, and is he going to Bayern now that they've agreed terms?
I think still.
We don't know. He hasn't spoken.
I think still yes.
Will, if Harry Kane comes out tonight and says, "Right, I'm off," then everything you've said.
Then he's fine.
True.
I agree.
Then he's not a traitor.
Then he's not a traitor. It's if. Look, listen. If he turns down this £100 million move and he goes on a free in the summer, then he's a traitor. If he turns down the deal and signs the contract, he's not a traitor. If he doesn't turn down the deal and he goes, he's not a traitor. If he turns down this deal and goes in the summer, he's a traitor.
If he walks for free next summer,
if that's the message,
doesn't make him a traitor.
Then there's no leverage for the players. It's all with the clubs. They can never go on a free.
Then he shouldn't have told Bayern he would go.
You know, do you know what? Do you know what it is?
How do you know?
You know what, right? No, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. No, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. What we were saying is, I just taking it in now. What we were saying is actually true. I agree with you, Will. I do. However, this is the bit I don't agree with. By using the word traitor, it's like making it sound the most worst thing he could have done. Like as a person, if you just said, "Do you know what? He's played them. He's played them off each other." I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, he has." Yeah. But the word traitor we associate with Sol Campbell, just evil people. It's making him sound evil. When I don't think
Michael Owen. Michael Owen.
Because Sol Campbell didn't double deal.
He fucking is. Oh, come on.
Right?
I think
double
he's a fucking traitor, Michael Owen.
I think
it's business. It's business.
I think Will, I agree. He's been playing Levy in this summer for sure. But the other, and I don't take that as a traitor. I take it as payback a little bit. The double-edged sword is that if Kane gets one over the club, over the board, over Levy, if he gets a nasty kick in there, then yes, we the fans will probably feel some of that. But that's gonna happen. That's what happens with every negotiation. When you have a guy that's the most hated guy in football, the most dishonest guy in football, then we're gonna be feeling the hate from everybody else that has to deal with it. Of course, it's a consequence of their bad relationship for sure. I agree with that. He is leveraging Bayern München against Levy in talks. Do I associate myself with the board? Not at all. I'm the opposite.
I agree with you, Jory. And do you know what? As well, like for me, this Harry Kane situation. Look, if you think Harry Kane disrespects the club, if Harry Kane wanted to disrespect the club or the fans, he could have handed in a transfer request years ago.
Exactly.
Why is that a disrespect, though? Why is turning in a transfer request a disrespect?
Because that's disrespect.
Hold on.
Wait,
No,
wait,
hold on.
Let Danny finish.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
Finish your point. Finish your point.
First of all, Harry Kane, his ambition has always wanted to win trophies at Spurs. That's what he's always wanted to do, right?
Good.
We can all agree that, right? Over the years, he's lost his faith in the board, right? And they've drained him right down to the bottom because they've not done what they said they were going to do. They never invested in the way that they maybe might have promised him that they were going to do. And they've chopped and changed managers like no tomorrow. We haven't even had a manager finish a full season since Poch. That's how bad it's been, right?
Okay. Yeah.
What does that tell someone in 5 years, nearly 5 years, that, oh yeah, we've got a plan to go and win trophies. We've got ambition. That tells him nothing, absolutely nothing. So Harry Kane right now, his love for Tottenham, right, is still there, but it's holding on. And the reason why he feels the way he probably does is because of the way that the club have driven him to this extent. Right?
I agree.
So,
I agree with you.
Right?
100%.
So what I'm saying is, Will, that he's not a traitor, right? He's just at the point now where he's had enough, right? But there's still that love for Spurs, which is why he hasn't had in a transfer request, why he's tried to be as quiet as possible and to not try and stir shit. Because if he comes out and speaks, right, it's going to make him look like the bad person. If he says he's staying and then he goes and leaves, it makes him look even worse. If he comes out and says, I'm leaving, right, it's like people are going to start having to go at him.
This is where you're getting it wrong, though, Dan.
It's not. It's not wrong.
Let me explain why, right? Hold on. Let me just rebut his point here, and then we'll bring you in. The point that you're trying to make is I agree that from Harry Kane's perspective, right? From Harry Kane's perspective, he's not a traitor, right? In the same way that Edward Snowden doesn't think he's a traitor to the U.S. government, but the U.S. government sure as shit thinks he's a traitor, right? And there's a lot of people in the government that think that he's a traitor, and there's a lot of people that think that Edward Snowden isn't a traitor. But from the government's perspective, From the government's perspective, he is a traitor, right? And we as fans, are we on Harry Kane's side, or are we supporters of the club? Me, I'm a supporter of the club. So when he does things that hurts the club, he's a traitor, right? I'm in the perspective of the government here. And let me give you another example. When I used to teach English and Korean. I was working at a school, and the way that it was kind of a weird payment system, they paid me. The giant education center paid me directly into a bank account that was in my name. The company then took that money, split it, took their costs, paid the other teacher, the Korean teacher, and then paid me what was left back into another bank account. They didn't pay me for 4 months, right? But I knew that girl, hold on, that bank account that the school paid me like 10 grand a month in for the whole entire process, getting into my bank account. I went and I changed the password, right? Got that. I hadn't been paid for 2 months. They owed me 20 grand. But I knew that teacher that worked down the hall, who I worked with day in and day out, was a good person. I knew that the building of the people that I worked with were good people. I knew the students were good people. So did I walk in there with some lighter fluid and a torch, set the place on fire? No. What did I do? I walked in, I gave the girl her normal pay, and then I left, right? Because that's the moral thing to do. And if you agreed in a deal with Byron to help the club get 100 grand to fill the giant gaping hole you're going to leave in our side,
did you have a gentleman's agreement? Did you have a gentleman's agreement with your bosses? And
yes,
they went back
I did. They did. Yes, they did. They did. That's the whole point.
It's like Harry Kane's a bit scorned over this whole situation of what happened.
You chose to play it differently. It doesn't make you a traitor, though.
I know. Yeah. I wasn't a traitor. He's being a traitor. He's walking into that school with gasoline and matches and setting the teacher
not-
and
he's
the
not
school
really
building
doing
on
that, though,
fire.
is he?
I mean, I don't know what fucking infantile movie is going on in your head. This is complete bollocks.
It's not bollocks.
And using Snowden as a listen, Snowden, he you might think whatever, but how
Wait, real
about
quick.
the
Let
fact
Eugene.
that your government officials are lying about surveillance and somebody comes out and leaks about it? I would say it's a similar situation. It's good you bring it up because we have
One
a
second.
corrupt
Edward Snowden now.
board controlling a club. The club is not the board. If somebody fights against the board and hurts the board, then that might actually benefit the fans in the long run. Look at Newcastle and the Mike Astley situation. They were feeding every bad thing that happened to the club. They wanted him out of the club, and they knew it had to go to the gutter before they could get out of the club. Like
1 second.
to conflate the two is completely,
I'm not conflating anything.
You are conflating.
You have to demonstrate it before
dealing
you
with
say
the
it.
board with showing loyalty to the fans. That's
No. Hold on. The club is more than just the board. The club is the fans. The club is his teammates. The club is all of those things. It's not just the board.
But how,
And if
what's
him,
he given
what's
to
the
us
best?
in
Hold on.
8 years?
What's the best that he could do if he cared about the club, his teammates, the fans? What is the best option for him to do? Sign an extension. What's the next best option? To let the club get money to replace him.
Right. This is
Not
what
to
is happening.
renege on your promise and walk out the door saying "fuck you" on your way out.
The best would,
I
would
understand
to get the
what
board
Bill
and
is saying.
Levy in as much
If
trouble
you
as
go on right in this kind of manner, Harry Kane's credibility is gone. Harry Kane wanted to leave 2 years ago. We all know that. We all know the shit story behind, in front, up,
And I would have
down.
said, "Good
inside your
job.
eyes."
See you later."
Right.
I agree.
And now and after that, while all this has been going on, right? Of course, the big problem has always been Levy, right? He didn't go and handle this properly. We knew Kane is going to leave anytime, right? And he should have let the contract run down until 1 year. And now it's been 1 year left on his contract, right? It's become something like Bayern comes in, then he goes into the ding dong, right? Negotiate, not negotiate, no, I don't want this, I don't want that. Kane comes out and says, I'm going to give it until the what call before the first game of the season. Then the decision has to be made, right? Then Bayern Munich comes out and throw out a decision for Levy. Levy fucks them. Now Levy turns around and says that I've accepted it.
I'm not saying Levy's in the right here. I'm not saying just
No,
because
no,
Kane's a
wait,
traitor,
wait,
Levy's a saint. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying, Will, let me finish, right? Then all this muddles, turns around, muddle. And the best part is, right, we don't know. It's all ITK news. It's all hearsay. It's this, it's that. And now...
Just because you don't... Hold on, Eugene, I don't like that excuse. People use that all the time when they don't want to admit to things being the case. Hold on.
I've not finished yet. Can you let me
Then
finish?
stop saying that.
Saying what?
That we don't know anything. We do know.
No, we do not. We do not know what is the truth.
Okay.
Eugene, hold on.
We're all just going on.
Let's establish the facts. Let's establish the facts. Kane
we
hasn't
don't know what's
signed
the
a new
truth.
contract. 1 minute. No, Eugene, I'm just going to establish the facts. What we do know.
Exactly.
Kane hasn't signed a new contract. In a year's time, his contract ends. He can go on a free. He has been okay with the conversations between Bayern Munich and Tottenham. Tottenham and Bayern Munich have been in negotiations for 3 weeks. They've now accepted a bid. That's the only fact we know. Everything else is hearsay. But so if we just stick to the facts and discuss around that,
okay.
then
now
we can.
now
But to say we don't know
media is
nothing. But Eugene, I'm just saying. To
I'm
say we
not
know
saying, I'm not
nothing.
saying we do not know nothing. I'm just saying we do not know what's the truth. Certain facts are there, and now the news
Well, no,
is
we know
coming
that's
out.
no, we know that's a fact. That is a
Okay,
fact.
now
We know the fact, but there's
now
so
the
much
fact
to
is
it that's
now the fact is
rumors.
being said. The thing is that the club hasn't come out to say anything. These are all being put out by
The club
ITKs.
doesn't need to.
But it's
The
not
club- the club's
ITK. You have
accepted
the
bid.
CEO of Bayern Munich coming out and being quoted. There's a difference between an opinion piece
all
and a
right,
quote from the actual
fair.
person's mouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
We
Okay,
the only,
whatever-
Eugene, do you know what? What we don't know is what Harry Kane is saying. That's the
No,
only
that's
thing.
why
That's the bit
I'm
we don't.
reaching
That's the bit
there.
that we don't
No,
know.
that's
We don't.
why
We're
I'm
guessing.
reaching
It's
there.
all
That's what I'm saying,
hearsay,
right?
basically.
Now
Apart from a few facts, it's hearsay.
now we've reached this position, right, where all this has been settled, right? Bayern has put out the bid. The club has accepted the bid, right? Now the ball's on Harry Kane's court, and now all of a sudden, everybody's around, all the reporters around the world are saying, you know, the IT case in UK and all saying, Harry Kane is not eager to leave. But why prolong all that shit drama, right, until now, and say you don't want to leave? That's where I'm on Will's side. That shows that Kane has got no fucking credibility.
I don't think that. I think that's from. We don't know, but
how
I
can
think
you
that's
say that?
the PR spin from
if he
Levy.
doesn't leave, if he doesn't leave, he's got no credibility.
He's gonna leave. I'm sure he's gonna leave.
I'm not going to use the word as harsh. I'm not going to use
right.
If he doesn't, I'm saying if he doesn't leave, I'm not going to use the word as harsh as Will says, a traitor and all that. But I'm going to say he's got no credibility.
What's wrong with
Ba-
using a harsh
basically-
term, by the way?
And
What's
if
wrong with
if
using
it's
a
true,
harsh
if
term?
it was true and I was
What's
Daniel
wrong?
Levy, if it's true and it was and I was Daniel Levy, if it's true that he put me through all of this, made me do this, forced me to get into these conversations with Bayern Munich, which I didn't want to do. I wanted you to sign with us again and continue going. You forced me to do this, and then you pull this move. You know what I would do? I'd bench him for the whole season. I wouldn't let him step a foot on the pitch.
Mbappe and
That's what I would do.
Paris Saint-Germain, it's the same damn thing.
Same thing. And what did everybody say about Mbappe? What did everybody say about Mbappe when he pulled this shit? They all
He's a fucking traitor. That's what they
traitor.
called him.
He was completely.
He's a
they
snake
through the
for
mud,
money.
and Kane's
He's
doing the same
greedy.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, Delas Spurs has just said, I see similarities with Mbappe and PSG. Mbappe wanted Real Madrid, but PSG wanted way too much and way too much money. Now PSG need to make a profit off Mbappe. He can't just wait out the contract and collect his money. And then he also says PSG and Tottenham should have sorted out the transfer before this point. Players don't owe their club a profit with their transfers.
Yes.
They only owe the club what they are contracted to play football.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fair statement.
They don't owe it. They don't owe it. But if it's your boyhood club and you're one of our own, and you know you want to go, and you are happy with going to Bayern Munich, right? Then
Just like how Mbappe
the
loved it.
moral thing to do would have been just to accept it. The problem
Will,
was,
can I ask you a question,
hold on,
though?
the difference
Right?
between
Then your
PSG
own
and Tottenham, hold on,
Then your own
the
morals
difference.
turn to Harry Kane. That's not the.
I can still, by my moral standard, by the way that I judge morals, I can judge Harry Kane. That is a
I would
rational and
suggest
fair, valid
you
argument.
have some maturing to do, Will.
I don't
I'm
have
sorry
any
to
maturing
say.
to do.
Yes.
I'm
I think
completely
it's very,
mature.
I think it's amazing to look at the what Kane has done from this club, and just simply for the fact, even let's give it that it is him spinning Levy, and he always.
It looks like it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I can accept that. I do not take
But again,
that.
you're
as a
using it as an
Sol
emotional
Campbell
answer,
situation
Jory.
at all. It's
You're
not a
using an
Sol-
emotional reaction now, Jory. Because
No,
even
it's
if
not
listen,
about-
if my wife is
I
faithful
want,
to me,
I want Kane out.
no, if
remember
my
that.
wife
I
is
want Kane
faithful
out.
to me for 22 years, and on the 22 and first day she cheats on me, she's a cheater, right? Regardless of how faithful she was to me over 20 years.
No,
She
I wanna-
committed
I wanna-
adultery.
listen,
She's a cheater.
every freaking professional athlete is a prostitute in that sense, you know. Don't put your emotions into a prostitute.
What are you talking
No,
about?
no, 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 no. We ain't
Prostitution,
putting
That's a
our.
complete and utter red herring,
I'm
my man.
using your analogy.
Guys, just stop for
No, you're
one
not.
second. Just stop for one
If
second.
you're blaming
Guys, just
a
stop for one second.
prostitute for cheating,
Guys,
If
stop-
you
stop
want to
for one
talk
second.
philosophically and
Joey,
logically,
Will.
we can do it. Right?
Joey,
But you,
Will,
you can't
for
be
1
using
second.
fallacies like red
Will,
herrings in order to prove your point.
Guys, I'm going to mute you
Wait.
both. Hear me out. Right, just two things. Right. Number one, let's attack the argument, not the person, because it's going that way. I'm just saying, let's bring it back home.
Yeah, like telling me I have a lot of maturing to do.
No, Will, to everyone. And the other thing I want to say is, Will, is it not a case then, right? Is it not a case where, yeah, we know what the definition of traitor is. Yes, we know what a traitor means. We get it. But if you've been lied to, right? So let's take your relationship with your wife, for example.
Mhm.
If she's lied to you, and then you get to the point of where I'm sick of this, like what Danny was saying, I'm sick of being let down by this owner. I'm going to do whatever I want now. Are you still a traitor if they've taken you to the point of like, I can't work with these people. I can't work this way. I'm gonna
Leaving
do
the
what's best for
club.
me.
Hold on, people
If I
are
play you
maybe.
in the process, it's
I got you.
payback
I
for
got.
this
I
shit.
got the point. I got the point you're trying to make, and I gave the answer earlier. Leaving the club is not the part that makes Harry Kane a traitor. Let's get that straight. It's not the leaving the club that makes him a traitor. If he were to accept this deal and go to Bayern, I would say good luck. If he would have gone to Man City 2 years ago, I would say good luck. If he had never brought the whole Bayern situation into the story, I would have said at the end of his career, end of his contract, he went someplace else. Good luck. If no other offers had come in this summer that he had agreed to personal terms with, right? I would have said good luck. The thing that makes him a traitor is agreeing personal terms with Bayern Munich to where the CEO said it. They did. The Bayern CEO. This isn't the news media. This is the Bayern CEO himself quoted, right? If Harry Kane's a man of his word, he'll keep his promise and we'll sign him this summer, right? That was the Bayern CEO himself in a press conference, okay? That's what was said. That's what makes Harry Kane a traitor. The money is there. It's on the table. Tottenham and Bayern have fought back and forth, and agreed. Right? It's the same thing I told with that company I worked for. That wasn't a fake story or analogy. That was real life. I worked for a company. They didn't pay me for 3 months. Could you imagine having a 1-year-old son and a wife being the only breadwinner and not getting a paycheck for 3 months? And your company, every time you call them, when am I getting paid? When am I getting paid? Oh, we'll get you next week. We'll get you next week. We'll get you next week. Then I went to the bank. Hold on. Then I went to the bank, right?
Yeah.
Changed the password on the bank account that the school paid me, that the community center paid me from every month, because the community center was paying, but the company was taking that money out and then not giving me my cut, right? For 3 months. I went to the bank, waited till that bank, I went to the school place and I said, hey, what day do you guys put the money in? They told me the day that they put the money in. I went to the bank, changed the password on that day so that when the money went in, the other company couldn't take it. As soon as it was a normal time, because as soon as it went in, those guys came and got it transferred it right out. They called me right away. You changed the password. I was like, you're right. You owe me 20 grand. I just got 10. I'm done. But instead of just walking into that school, setting it on fire, cussing people out, I went back to that school, gave the Korean teacher who made like $1,500 a month, and I gave her $15 before I headed out into the sunset.
How long will you teach?
Because that's the right thing to do. I taught there for 2 years, a year.
Okay, Kane's been there for 9 years.
Okay.
Well, maybe he's going through a hell of a lot more pain than what.
No, he only tried to go to City from 2 years ago. He wasn't in pain. What are you talking about?
As in pain of not wanting, as in
350K a week.
No, Will, not financial pain. The pain of playing with Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez.
Oh, stop! There's no mental harm. There's no mental anguish that suffered from playing with Eric Dyer.
Bro, we're getting mental harm from watching this shit.
They're best friends. They go golfing together. They just went on a golf trip 2 weeks ago.
Off the pitch. But if you were to say to Harry Kane, be honest, what's Eric Dyer like? He'll say,
if he hated Eric Dyer, he wouldn't be friends with him. That's
if he's honest,
you wouldn't be mates if you thought he was garbage.
Then why is he signing a new contract then if he's so good?
Because he doesn't like Daniel Levy.
But Daniel
doesn't like the boss.
Daniel Levy.
Daniel Levy's
the boss.
Wait.
He's not on the pitch.
Why do you think he doesn't like
Daniel Levy
Daniel
doesn't
Levy?
kick a ball. Ben Dyer.
Why do you think he
listen
doesn't
to
like
me.
Daniel Levy?
Ben
Dyer.
Why do I think he doesn't? I think he doesn't like Daniel Levy because Daniel Levy is unambitious.
As a strike partner. You're Harry Kane and you're giving Richarlison as a strike partner. You're thinking, get me out
last
of
year,
this
man.
club.
Again, you're saying that my experience of 2 years and the way I handled that exact same situation with a very analogous parallels to it. It wasn't equal because I was only 2 years. No, but I worked for that school for 2 years, right?
Your experience is projecting, Will. We can't assume that people will have the same experience. We have to understand that everybody has.
I'm not projecting my experience onto anybody. I'm saying the true experience. Hold on, no, I'm not. No.
He's using it as an analogy comparatively.
And I'm saying his reaction is a projection of what Kane should do, and we can't assume that.
Yeah, what should Kane do then?
Jory, when you came on,
Jory's right. I agree with Jory. What I was trying to say is, Steve, what I was trying to say is, your experience of a car crash and how you feel about it afterwards, and my experience could be two different traumas.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. That's
Jory, this question. Jory, remember when you came in the stream when you first thing you said that, right? If you're dealing with someone, when a contract is broken, right, you ain't gonna deal with that person
No,
again.
exactly. You're not going to go
No
back.
contract was broken.
I do tiny contracts, you know. I do my
it
business.
doesn't matter. Maybe whether it's a contract, whether
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's
a
like
word of
I'm
mouth,
never going
right?
to go back to a person.
Yeah, it's a word of mouth, it's a contract, and whether it's a contract, whether it's word of mouth, right? What Daniel Levy did to Harry Kane during the M City saga, right? The gentleman's agreement, that pissed Kane off, right?
Daniel Levy made it such.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Now, what Kane is doing to Bayern Munich, I'm not even saying Kane doing to Levy. What Kane is doing to Bayern Munich,
is similar.
that shows that he's broken his word to Bayern Munich. So,
I agree. And
Two wrongs don't make a right, man.
No, exactly.
Only if he stays at Tottenham.
Yeah,
only if he stays at Tottenham.
Yeah. If I can answer that, first of all, I think this is Levy PR, to be honest. But if he was to do that, it is definitely similar. He's breaking his word, and exactly, it's not going to be good. But I do think that these professionals get away with it because it doesn't, like anybody. There's plenty of takers out there, you know. But I do think, like when that deal with Man City didn't go through, or Daniel Levy refused to negotiate with City that summer, Levy sealed the fate of Kane never signing another contract as long as Levy is chairman. I think as well, when he's done with this, if there's a coming back to the Premier League towards the tail end of his career, I think he won't come back to Tottenham if Levy is still the chairman. So
I have a question. Don't you not think this is a pointless conversation, because in this argument there is like,
see you later.
No.
Why are you gonna do that to Dan?
No, this is my point.
This is pointless. I'm like, all right, go.
No,
pointless. All right, fuck off.
No, wait. All right, let me land.
Yeah.
There's way too many if buts and maybes in this argument. Way too many if buts and maybes in the argument. Until I get absolutes, until Kane does everything they're saying, come back to me and have this argument. Right now, I'm not hearing that you could even have Campbell and Harry Kane in the same sentence.
I hope he goes to Arsenal just so me and Will can say.
If he goes to Arsenal, I'll agree with you. If he goes to Arsenal, I think he'll be.
I hope he fucking does.
Dan, that's
if
the
it
whole
ain't
point.
here, it better be the fucking Arsenal.
Dan, it's called an objective. Dan, hold on.
The answer
Hold on.
in the next 2 days, either Kane stays or he goes, because Brentford's coming up. This will be done before Brentford, so we'll know.
Yeah.
We will know. We will know the answer.
It will be done within 24 hours.
The worst thing is, it's still, no matter what, the ball is in Kane's court, because first of all, Levy can't force him to sign the contract. Second of all, Levy's not going to say, well, you sit on the bench for the rest of the year because he's our best player, right? So it's never going to, and Andrew will not let that happen if Kane is in that squad. So at the end of the day,
just like the Mbappe thing. It's just
there
like
are things that can be done. Hold on, there are things that can be done. If I was Bayern Munich, I'd sue Harry Kane.
What? Why?
Really? Good luck with your signing new players after that, even if it was a possibility.
Wait, Will.
It is a possibility. If he had agreed personal terms, hold on. If he had agreed, if he had agreed personal terms on the completion of a sale, it's not a binding contract, but you can sue. There are losses that could be sustained. You could say that now, because of Harry Kane's breaking of his verbal contract or whatever he had, that Bayern is now incapable to go into the market and find a suitable replacement. There could be a case made in court.
Couldn't have Kane sued Daniel Levy for not sticking with his gentleman's agreement?
Yeah,
no.
Exactly
No. Completely different.
That's possible in America is absolutely retarded.
Verbal agreement.
Nothing in Europe. Okay, you can't just sue for everything and anything. You know, so.
And not just that, if Bayern Munich try and sue a player, that will stop top players, I think, in the future, thinking twice about going to Bayern Munich.
Or it would make top players think twice before turning them down when they've agreed personal terms.
Yeah, but just like Daniel, like Dan said, just like
clubs turn down a deal when after personal
clubs
terms
do.
Agreed,
clubs do. Yeah, because that's the club. It's down to the club, not players.
It also happens with players all the time. It's just
it doesn't happen all the time. You never hear
how many times another club
find me one tweet
and hijacks the deal.
That's a club hijacking a deal.
Well, that's the same.
That's what's
as
happened here. Another club has come in and
reneging on
offered him
your
more
personal
contract
terms.
if he goes on a free
No,
next
the
year.
two clubs are then now. If PSG and Chelsea have a deal and
That's
Tottenham
what's
come in, hold
happening
on,
here.
let me finish.
That's
It's not what's happening here.
Another club is offering. If Kane's
Harry
not
Kane,
going,
they're not
it's
offering the
because
other
another
club.
club has offered a better deal in personal terms. That's
To Harry
actually the
Kane, not to the
statement.
clubs.
Yes,
It's not two
that's
clubs
what I'm
doing it to
saying.
each other.
That's what I'm saying. It's like players renege on their personal terms towards a club because another club comes with a better deal. That happens all the time, and it happens even more from the clubs. So
Danjuma was so done that he had a here we go to go to Everton.
We did it last.
We've lost players on medicals too.
January we did it. Not even less.
He had already finished like his medical and everything, and then we came in. We offered a better contract. He came to us. Why haven't Everton sued Danjuma?
Because there's two clubs involved.
There is two
completely different
There's a club that
situations.
said that if he goes next year in summer, he will go with a bigger contract.
Then Juma's back in Everton again, right?
Yeah,
guys, listen. I'm just gonna ask you one last question before we wrap it up because until we find out what Kane says now, we don't know. We've got a quick super chat here from Matthew Ball who says the Oxford language says, to name a few: betrayer, backstabber, double crosser, double dealer, turncoat, colluder, tergiversator. It sums up Levy and Enoch.
Exactly.
Kane is only a Judas if moving to a rival. There you go. That's
I don't think that's Judas. If I failed my contract and I want to go play for another club, I'm not betraying you.
I will say as much. Considering how Tottenham squandered Kane's amazing career, I would say even if he went to Chelsea on a free, I would not put him in Sol Campbell territory. He would be dead to me, like Potts is dead to me now. But I wouldn't put him even in Traitor even if he did there. That's so.
I'm sorry.
Right,
New cat.
One minute. Last question, right? Because I need to wrap it up because I've got to cook and I've got to sort some
You've
stuff out.
got a life.
Yeah, I've got a life.
You're in pain like Kane. You're in pain like Kane. You're in pain like Kane.
I've been in pain for 23 years, Dan, of this. I'll start with Will and I'll go around. Will, if you're Ange Postecoglou and this is going on now, who's your front three this weekend? You don't know if Kane's staying or going, but right now, if you're Ange Postecoglou, what's your front three?
Well, I mean, it's got to be, Perisic's son, Kulusevski for me.
Eugene, your front three?
Bloody hell. Richie's injured, right? So
yeah,
he's injured.
Richie's injured. Yeah.
What is
he might need an operation.
Yeah.
Richarlison's injured.
Yeah.
No way.
You didn't know
Since
that?
when?
Since always, Dan. Since he signed it on the dotted line.
Come on, Dan. Richarlison is crap,
Dan.
and he's always injured.
We're not going to have this conversation now.
Dan, when you stop reading Richarlison and you stop talking in a fake English accent, then I'll take your parody seriously.
I just want to know your front three, Eugene.
Yeah, I know. Richie's injured, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be controversial, right?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna go Son, Valise, and Porro.
Porro in the front three.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be on the wing, on the right wing. But
Steve, your front three. Okay, I'm asking the question on the assumption we play 4-3-3. Okay, on the assumption.
Yeah, we probably will.
Mano Solomon, Son through the middle, fucking Kulu.
Son's through the middle, fucking Kulu.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, damn.
I don't give a shit.
As it stands,
you turn
right
into
now,
Elias now.
As it stands right now, Kane,
I'll stop then.
Perisic, and Kulusevski.
No offense, Elias.
Kane, Perisic, Kulusevski. Okay, Jory.
Yep.
The original question was if Kane leaves.
Yeah.
So
No. It's if you're Ange
Ange.
Okay, so
as it stands right now,
it's baked into whether Kane leaves or not. So I will say I actually agree with Will on this one, which is I think Perisic, Son through the middle is exciting. I think so. Perisic, Son, and Kulusevski, I think will be.
Do you know the reason why? If it stands as it is right now, and Kane is a Tottenham player, I don't think Son starts purely
No,
because
no.
he's coming back from injury. That's
I'm
why.
giving my vote to Kane leaving in
Right,
that
got you.
answer as well. So yeah.
So
I think Brentford.
actually think,
No, go on.
yeah,
Sorry.
I was gonna say my front three. So I think it's actually not gonna be Son that starts, and I think it's gonna be Mano Solomon on the left. On the right, I think it's gonna be Kulusevski, and then striker. Because of what Kane is actually, there's been reports saying that if he's still at the club by Brentford, he's actually gonna stay. So I don't even think there'll be any doubt in Ange Postecoglou's mind if he stays or goes.
100%.
If he's still at the club by Brentford, he's going to stay at the club until maybe even January if he goes, but he will be at the club. So I would say start Kane. So Mano Solomon, Kane, Kulusevski would be my front three.
Just so I'm clear, I'm playing Son as striker, not as winger.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Perisic, Kane, and Son. That's my front
I
three.
still think, by the way, Brentford win regardless of your front three. I think they're gonna poke too many fucking holes in your defense. I'm sorry. It's going to be
that's a different chat. Listen, I just want to say a big thank you to all the people that super chatted today. Steve, who came on the show, Matt, London Bro, big up. Jorical, who came on the show as well. William, Anthony, Erica, awesome. Big up to you. Elias, with a couple of super chats, 3 super chats. Thank you so much. Della Spurs with 3 super chats. Thank you, Della Spurs. And to Matthew Bell. Big up to all you amazing people that came on the show today. It was fiery, that's for sure.
I got one last statement. I'm just gonna say it's just some definitions, right?
Oh god.
Special pleading and tu quoque fallacy, right? If you think Daniel Levy's a snake for doing what he did, if Kane's doing the same thing, then you gotta think Kane's a snake too. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. I'm out.
Yeah. Wait, one more thing. Last statement. It has nothing to do with this topic. Last statement.
I couldn't just say goodbye, could I? I couldn't just say goodbye, but no.
End the stream. Leave out. End the stream. Leave out.
You stop. Wait.
Dan speaks.
No, you've officially clickbaited. You said on that title that Kane leaves Tottenham. You said if Kane stayed at Tottenham, you'll come out and say that you clickbaited.
He hasn't stayed yet, so.
No, I said on the title. No, sorry, I put in German goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
No, not this title. No, not.
Isn't that an 80s
talking about the last
TV
stream?
show?
The stream
Last
we did.
stream.
Yes, 80s TV show. Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, Auf Wiedersehen.
All right, guys.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It was based in the Northeast too.
It was last stream. Last stream, I think it was like Kane's officially leaving. That was the title of the stream.
Well,
See you later. Take care. Leave you out. We're done.
Leave out.
I'm the Bayern already. Fucking English.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.